welcome to the Razorback Live with the Sarge. I'm the Sarge. Hope everybody's having a great Friday afternoon. And we about to kick off the weekend series with Ole Miss. 9 games left, folks. 9 games left. Oh, and as always, I got Hog Wow with me tonight. He's here for the full game, so say hi, Hog Wow.
What's up?
He sounds enthused.
I'm here.
He sounds enthused. I'm here.
Well, I don't call him Ole Miss. I call him something else.
Yes, we all know what they're really called. But we got Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. That's our last 9 games. Been a long season. We brought you every game except for the Mizzou series because of the grandbaby being born, which is here, by the way. So, always in a good mood when the grandbaby's here. But we're just going to look at one game at a time. Hopefully, we can, at the very least, win this series. We're going to start by winning this game tonight. Hunter Dietz is on the mound, I know. And I have the lineup right here. Let me get it for you. Here's the lineup for tonight. First base, we got Root Bar leading off. Second, we have Micah New playing center field. Catching Connor Ryder. Sorry. Shortstop, we got Kozel. Left field, we got Ruiz. Second base is Souza. DHing is Aloy. Right field is Stewie. And at third base is Mount Pompey. And pitching is Dietz. That's your Razorback lineup for tonight. So hopefully we can get the bats going. Dietz can keep these guys under control. And we can get that dub. And, of course, right off the bat, I got to give my man a shout out here because he was so kindly super chatted us. $10 from Kurt Lampkins reporting for duty. Salute, sir. He's in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's get the bats popping tonight. Absolutely. Kurt, we appreciate you, brother, as always. We need to get them bats going for sure. Because it'd be just nice to see not a blowout because we have a tendency not to play very good after a blowout. But I'd like to see a 7-3, 6-5, or 6-4 win. Something. Just get us a win that we don't have to worry about. Coming back we're down by 3 or 4. Let's just get out front from the beginning and stay there. Just cruise in from home, easy win tonight, and get everybody's weekend started off right. But, so, let's see who we got in the house before we get started here. Jeff is in the house. He said, Woo Pick Stewie's going to take this series. I can agree. Charles, good to see you. Go Nicole. How you doing, Nicole? Woo Pick Stewie. Joyce, Steve, I sure hope we can bring it tonight. Yep, me too. MSTV, good to see you, buddy. Mark, as always, appreciate you being here. Arky Joe is doing the modding tonight. And let's see who we got. Shane, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. B Hall's in the house. D Black, let's go. Hogs, hope we can come out swinging them bats right off. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, right off the bat. Our 100 like streak before the first inning ends is we did complete it last stream, so it is at 1. So if we can go 9 for 9 for the rest of the season, that means we would have we'd have had pretty good. We'd had almost a 35 stream run but we missed 1, so it could have been 36, but we had a 35 streak run that we got that. So that's pretty good. You guys did a pretty good job at that. And we will do that again for football or something. We'll figure out a number to get before the first quarter ends. Yes, Mrs. Sarge is having fun with the grandson. He is getting plenty of cuddles around here. Dave, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Hope everything's going good for you on this Friday afternoon. It is cool this Friday afternoon. It's 63 degrees and cloudy. So it's going to be a cooler game as the night comes on. So the ball's probably not going to jump as much. So you're going to have to get the hold of one if you're going to put it over the fence. But that could help us and it could hinder us too. So we never know. But see, we got 9 games left of baseball, and then we're going to start doing some digging into this football team. What we can expect from these coaches, the new coaches, picking up where we left off when football season ended. We got some pretty good things planned. We got some former Razorback players that are going to come on and do a show with us. I don't know how yet I'm going to do that. I may do a live show where you guys can ask questions to the players, or we may record it and just put it out. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. But it's going to be good shows. We're going to try to get us several of the players to come visit us at Razorback Live with the Sarge. I love what the new coaches are doing with bringing all the players back on campus, getting them involved with the new players and stuff. That's awesome. Maybe we get some baseball players on the show too. We got about 2 minutes for first pitch. Let's see, Riley. How long is the gap between the last baseball game and the first football game? Well, last baseball game, depending on how far we go, could be the first football game is near the end of August. So you got June, July, and August for sure. So there's at least 3 months there that we're going to be doing call-in shows and talking about everything from, whatever you want to talk about. Because it's kind of like a dead period, Basketball's recruiting is almost over. Football recruiting is over. We're talking about practice, what we're seeing in some of the practices, or, who we think's emerging. So there's all kinds of stuff we can do, and we plan on thinking up some stuff. And if there's something you guys want us to discuss or have a show about, put it in the comments. We'll look at it and see if we can come up with something. Because after all, the show's about you guys. We want you guys to be engaged in the show. That's the whole point. The reason I do this is so I can talk with you guys, not at you guys. Bud, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Steve, glad you're here. Lego, let's go. Aaron, good to see you, buddy. Big Phil's in the house. Thomas, absolutely. Soldiers just found the name. We're almost at 200 already. Yeah, they did. Ladybacks did win last night, 2-0 over the Vaught, Texas Longhorns. A good win for the ladies. Congratulations on that to the Arkansas Ladybacks. Always proud of you. Keep it up and take another one from them tonight. All right, we should have some game motion by now. 6 o'clock. Yeah, here we go.
See, Baumwalker Stadium in Fayetteville got some baseball between two old rivals with plenty to play for going down the stretch. The Ole Miss Rebels have dropped 3 straight, ready to take on the Razorbacks, and as DVH has said, this team needs to elevate. But let's take a look at the SEC standings.
Dennis, good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
There are the Rebels and the Razorbacks. Arkansas We'll see Oklahoma next week, another 11-10 team. A lot of
he's
squads
doing
trying to push
good doing
towards
this.
Hoover.
He's here today.
Let's bring you up to the
just handed
broadcast
him
booth.
off
I'm
to
Brett Dolan.
Grandma,
He's Troy Eklund. Thanks for joining us.
so I can
when
get the show
you talk about
going.
this Rebels offense that's improved, Tristan Bissett,
good to see you, buddy.
provide a bulk
Glad
of the
you're
power.
here.
It does feel like that Will Furness sometimes is a little bit forgotten, but shame on you if you do that.
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Consistent, Will Furness. He's been really great at first base. The 3-year letterman, just doing it. The home run swing is really coming out for Will Furness.
Troy, he entered
Yeah,
last
Big
Saturday
Phil.
with 2 home runs on the
Absolutely.
season. He finished the day with
That
5.
digi camo.
That launch stroke
I was
is
old
really
school
looking
though.
good.
I
You
was.
can see
I
really
didn't have the
gets
digi
leverage behind that
camo
swing, and definitely
in
the
my
power
time,
is
but
surely there.
it was just coming in, phasing in as I was.
What he has done, though, Troy,
Getting,
in SEC play is
discharged.
impressive. He's actually hit better than he has overall.
Yeah, that's really hard to do against these really top quality arms that you see day in and day out.
To be
in the
honest,
SEC.
I just
It
like the
talks
old school
about the
camo.
focus that he has and all that experience.
Hey, Chairman, good to
is
see you,
really
buddy.
paying
Welcome
off.
in.
Well, speaking of one of
Appreciate
those
you
I like
being here.
real tree
quality
camo.
arms, here comes Hunter Deeds. He has been
Yeah,
outstanding
I mean,
since
that-
he's taken over those game one
for deer hunting, that
starting
is
assignments.
Boy,
probably the
fastball
best.
has
But
been electric, up to 98 miles an hour.
For
It was set
hunting
at
Taliban,
96,
that wasn't,
97.
the greatest.
And the off-speed stuff is great as well. The
We used to have a
cutter
guy
and
at
the
our-
changeup against
our
righty
deer lease.
has
He
been
used to-
exceptional.
So it's an offense in Ole Miss
He used to
that
wear
strikes
the,
out a lot against a
get it
pitcher
from-
who strikes out a ton for this big
I don't know what kind of
6'6"
store,
left-hander out of
like a
Florida.
retail.
Well, the stat that really
Not a
jumps
retail
out at me,
store, but
Brett,
like a
is
resale store.
19 walks in
Where people
almost
would
60 innings
buy
pitched.
the-
And again, you see the
like an
strikeout
Army
numbers.
surplus
Baked
store.
greens.
So not only does he have
Yeah.
the velocity, but the command as well.
He'd go hunting that, and I'm
This
like,
Rebels lineup
you know
will
I can
feature
see you,
Federico,
right?
then Bissetta and Udemark, that home run duo. Furness, the cleanup hitter. Reuter, the DH. Jones in left. Dom Decker at second base. And Foley back behind the plate. Owen Pino
Somebody
has been a
needs to
regular at
test
shortstop
that guy.
over the last
Good
few
miss.
weeks.
Hopefully, Stephen New
Always fun
made it
when the
into
Razorbacks
Arkansas
and Rebels
okay, and he's
go
gonna.
head-to-head.
He's at the
and
game,
here
I'm
we
sure,
go on a
right now.
65-degree night. Winds blowing out of the north, out to right, and we are off and rolling with ball one.
Watching
Yeah, the ball was really flying out in BP, like you said.
Micah
especially
played tonight.
Anything right of the center field batter's eye is really carrying.
Federico, been a big part of this offense as of late. Takes one downstairs. Derek Malika calling balls and strikes tonight. Jeff Head, the
All right,
veteran, at
Hunter.
first.
There's your
Ronnie
first two.
Teague
No
at
more
second.
now.
Michael
Go after
Holman
it.
at third. And there's the season numbers for Federico, but trust me, much better as of late. And Dietz's pitch is downstairs. It was at Mizzou in game one of that series last week that Dietz, 4 pitches
He's trying to
in,
get
was
the tunnel
trailing
built,
3-0.
Sarge.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't take long. Again,
Ooh,
a
look
couple
at
wind-blown
you.
home runs to the opposite
Remembering
field for the
Trevor
Tigers.
Bowers.
Arkansas found themselves in a hole.
And there's a strike. It would be
Absolutely.
odd for him to walk somebody
Good
on
call,
4
sir.
straight. In that Missouri start, Troy,
That's what
He
I always
threw
was talking about when I
101
say
pitches,
change their eye level. That was
73
another way
were
of saying what he
Yeah,
was
he
saying.
can really find the zone when he wants to.
one of those stretches, he went 32 of 35
He's got that
pitches for
kid
strikes
rattled
in the
now,
game
doesn't
and
he?
then finished
Now, if he
Walk
dropped a
on.
looper in
33
there,
of 38
he'd catch him
for
standing there.
strikes.
That's just exceptional. It just shows what kind of stuff he has when he can throw that many strikes in a row and not really get hurt.
Here comes the
Got
payoff,
him.
and that is strike 3 called at the bottom of the
He
zone.
just went straight fastballs. That was 8 straight
Federico
fastballs.
was hoping he had
Or
ball
6 straight
4.
fastballs, sorry.
Dietz gets the K, and Troy,
I
since
need
he's
that
moved
hat.
to that game 1 start.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Arkansas's
having that hat
won
right there.
all
I'll tell you
three.
that
He's
right
been
now.
Maybe even better than he was prior to that move.
Yeah, I think so. He's really settling into
I like
that
that.
Friday
With
night
the A on it. Looks good.
spot. And again, he looks like a big leaguer on the mound. Goes 6'6", size 16 shoes. So he's a man out there.
This is Tristan Bissetta. He's 19 homers,
There's the slider.
3rd best in this league, and he dots the top 10 in several categories, including 7th in slug, 10th in OPS.
That guy doesn't look like he misses the day in the gym.
No.
That is an imposing
He
figure in that
definitely-
left-handed batter's box,
Definitely
and he
works
takes
his
a
arms
strike.
and legs. Look, he's got
Back-to-back
tree
cutters
trunks
by
for
Hunter
legs
Dietz,
and
and again, you can see it.
tree limbs
really
for
locked
arms.
Looks
Yeah.
like a running back out there.
He ebbed and flowed between the fastball and the cutter against Mizzou. It felt like the Tigers were ready for fastballs early in the count. They ambushed him a few times. He
Good
started
pitch.
going to the cutter,
Good pitch.
goes back to that pitch again,
Oh,
and
my.
K's
That
Bissetta
was
on 3
nasty,
pitches.
sir.
You're talking about the SEC's best strikeout pitcher against an offense that K's a lot. So far, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts.
Boy, you talk about a knee buckler right there, and Dietz stuff looks as good as it's been all season long.
That's it. That work.
Sheesh.
Absolutely.
2 outs for
Window
Judd
shopping.
Udemark.
Yes, Reese is on the bench tonight. Leo.
That was a big second baseman a year ago. He's moved to third, and the power numbers
There's
have
that
been
looper
huge as well.
breaking
17.
Curveball.
I think you could say he's big in any position he play. That's a guy that can fill
Good
up.
Lord,
the
I think he's
batter's
taller
box.
than Reese.
Big physical Rebels team. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Helfrich. Dietz is 1-1. Troy, again, he's getting some really big-time movement tonight early.
Well, that was the curveball right there. And
first
again, the bottom
couple
just
pitches,
absolutely
he's
fell
got
out of
to
it.
his
And
rhythm.
the thing that's so impressive is those pitches
Let's
are
go.
still
The
strikes.
folks want to
even
hear
if
the gunshot.
Rebels aren't swinging at them.
There it
1-2.
is.
How about a
Thank you,
fastball
sir.
to the inside corner for strike 3 call?
Hoorah.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. What a start for Hunter Dietz and the
Great
Razorbacks as the Hogs come into bat.
Let's go. Oh, and speaking of, this game is brought to you by Build Right Buildings. You can check them out at their Arkansas location at 20321 East Highway 412 Suite 212 in Springdale, Arkansas. You can call them at 479-544-0167 and get anything you need when it comes to metal buildings. They are awesome. I have seen them.
I was looking at their houses. They're pretty nice.
Yes, they are guided by faith, built with integrity, and driven by excellence. Give them a call. Again, at 479-544-0167. Let them know the Sarge sent you.
They got pre-built or pre-laid out barn dominium homes.
Yeah, it's awesome is what they can do. Oh, B. Hall sent a gift, said Happy Mother's Day. I don't know what them gifts do. I have not seen
When's
them
Mother's
before.
Day?
Huh?
When's Mother's Day?
To get
I'm
the
not
starting
sure, and that's
assignment for the
terrible.
Rebs.
Boy, really, really good pitcher. And Hunter Elliott came
I
off
don't
a
know
couple
that.
seasons of
But I
injury,
don't know any dates
but he
of
can
anything.
really get the job
I don't even know when
done.
Valentine's
You can see
Day
his
is.
numbers right
I don't know
there.
when my
great strikeout to
anniversary
innings
is.
pitch ratio, good command. He's going to sit about
Hell, I don't
90
even know
to
when my own
93,
birthday is.
94 with the fastball. Will throw the curve, slider, and change as well. And again,
Everything's just another day to me.
248 off the
We are
left.
87 likes.
Go back to
in the
2022 when the
going
Rebels
into
won
the bottom of the
national
first, so we
championship.
can make that 100
He
likes.
was on the mound and pitched a
pretty
couple
easy.
of times against the Razorbacks, so 3 career appearances.
Robert says, I think it's
17
Sunday.
in the third innings of work,
Next
20 strikeouts,
Sunday.
more than 300 pitches. That spans, though,
Wow.
a few
That away.
years, losing 2 to injury.
Yeah, that was really
Sean,
tough.
good to see you,
know,
buddy.
He lost a year because
Hope
he was trying
everything's
not
doing
to have
good.
surgery after that elbow injury and tried to rehab and just didn't
10th
work
or
out.
11th,
but,
I
a
guess.
guy that can really pitch, and the Rebels, are
Big
going to lean on that
Phil.
experience.
Appreciate you becoming a member.
He's out tonight
Thanks, Big
after
Phil.
a play at the plate where he got dinged up.
I thought Big Phil
on
was already
Wednesday,
a member,
so
to be honest.
Bar's at first, the new bat second, Helfrich third. It's Kojal,
Well, we
Ruiz, and
appreciate you
Souza.
coming back.
Aloy, the DH. That means Stewart's in right, Pompey at third base.
You guys are
Cutter
awesome.
Rutenbar still about 10 plate appearances away from having enough to qualify for the league leaders. He is
There we
Arkansas's
go. Got
best
it.
hitter, though, at
111.
330.
Great job, everybody.
And that pitch just
Oh,
about
hit
clipped
him.
him. It did.
Take
Troy,
your
you were
base.
pointing out the numbers from Elliott hit by pitches, and it takes 1 to add to that total.
I hear you,
Rutenbar
Sean.
wasn't going to go down to first base, and
I was
you could
gonna
almost
say.
hear like the tick that it hit his jersey.
I got you, Big
And
Phil.
home plate umpire
I was gonna say, I thought
Derek
you was,
said,
but
"Nope,
yeah,
that
you
got
got
a
your
piece of
second
him."
month badge now.
You're going to get hit by a
Absolutely.
pitch. That's the way to get hit by a pitch.
We appreciate your continued support,
This one
brother.
just sails on Hunter Elliott.
This is the 7th guy he's hit, though, in SEC games.
I don't know that he hit him. I'll take it, though, but I don't think he hit him.
Arkansas with a base runner for Micah New.
May 10th is Mother's
Lineup
Day.
looks a little
Appreciate
bit
that.
different with New hitting second. This is an Arkansas team, though, Troy, that has been, quite frankly, not good enough against
It's
lefties.
May 1st. I got my mom
239
her Mother's Day
against
present already.
left-handed
She wanted
pitching.
some trees.
Arkansas's lefties haven't hit
Or
lefties. Some of
to
their
put over on
righties
the
haven't
other
hit
side of our
lefties. Micah
house.
New maybe
So,
the exception to that story.
And that's why he's getting
got her
pushed
some
up into that
trees.
2-hole. And again, that's
Well, I
not
gave
a
her the
good
money to get her
combination
own
for the
trees.
Hogs.
so she can pick out the one she wants.
New took the fastball by Elliott, and then he swings at the changeup. And That's what a veteran.
Yeah,
pitcher
Lego.
does.
I think that
That's
missed him too.
able to change
I don't
those
think that
speeds
hit
and also
him.
eye height as well.
Elliott runs that pitch timer down, and the one thing about Elliott, he has a tremendous move. He's picked
How's
up
that
3
not a
guys
balk?
already this year.
Because as long as you pick up and
Foley
go
might
straight
not throw
over
out
to the
a
base,
ton
it's
of
fine. You
base
just can't go
stealers, but
forward
with
any
this
amount at
move
all.
And his ability to erase runners, he can be trouble. And Rutenbar wasn't going anywhere, and he was still about locked up.
Yeah, he froze about halfway through that move, and he almost got picked off. I think that was a conversation that Hudson Polk, the first base coach for Arkansas, said to Carter Rutenbar, said, "You're not going anywhere,
Miss
son.
Veronica,
You
happy
stay a
Friday to
few
you,
steps closer."
ma'am, and good to see you. I'm glad you're here with us. No, none of them hardly draw blood, Tim. It's just from what I saw, I could see daylight between
One
the
ball,
ball
2
and
strikes
him.
to New. Again, a long pause from Elliott. Pitch timer at 3 when he delivers, and New will wave and miss.
That's just a great fastball on the outside corner.
That's all right, Micah.
That's what an
You'll get
experienced
him next
pitcher
time,
does.
buddy.
They can hold that baseball. A lot of young pitchers, they hold that baseball for that long, and they can't throw a strike, and that is just painting.
Well, a
on the
lot of that,
outside
Tim, is
corner
because
with a little bit of carry.
it's every umpire's got a
Elliott
different
needs 8 more strikeouts
definition
now
of what
to
a
reach
balk is.
300. He would be the 3rd Rebel.
That's a really big
Reach
number.
that territory, big number. Especially when it's Pomerantz and Lynn, the guys ahead of you all time in Rebels history. Another flip to first, and again, Carter Rutenbar was about 5 feet off the base. He paused and stopped, and then got back to
with
the bag.
everybody yelling in his ear, "Get back!" and he still is locked up. That's a great move.
Ryder Helfrich has hit in 11 straight. He needed his last at bat on Wednesday to get a single in a game in which he had struck out a couple of times.
It's like Hunter Elliott's a little amped up today.
I would say so.
Fastball's really taking off on him.
He's got some juice. OPS over 1,000 for Helfrich. Talk about all the talented catchers in this league and in this world of college baseball a little bit later on. That pitch flutters at the top of the zone over the outside corner for a called strike.
A really good changeup. Under 2,200 RPMs on the spin rate. It just, like you said, had a little hang time on that one.
Closes off his body just a bit, sets that glove on top of his belt before the pitch. Kicks away. Foley can't locate it. Rutenbar's going to round at second and slam on the brakes. A wild pitch plus to advance Rutenbar into scoring position.
Rutenbar had a really big lead, and then he was shuffling back to first base when that ball was delivered, and it kicked away so far off of Foley that he just absolutely cruised into second base. Thought about going to third.
Trying to pump up his pitcher there before the 2-1 pitch. And that angle, you can really see Elliott hold that glove, kind of shielded a bit from the batter. And this is downstairs, 3-1. Let's see this kick away. Problem was Foley didn't locate it for a few seconds.
Looked like a slider down and in. Elliott's been pretty much fastball changeups to the right-handed Razorbacks.
Helfrich hits a mile-high fly ball into shallow center. Federico contending with that wind. Makes the catch on the side of his hat. That moved the hat a little bit on that grab. Play is made for out number 2.
That's a pitch that Helfrich would love to have back.
Yeah, it was too high.
Shot.
Swung underneath it.
Brings up Camden Kojal, hitting over 300 on the year. 6th in the conference in runs batted in with 50. He rolled an ankle sliding into third last week at Mizzou. May have re-injured it sliding into the plate Wednesday in the game against Northwestern State. He did not finish the game. Pompey moved over to short for the final inning. It's become our ongoing conversation this week when I said, how's the ankle? The other day he said good. Today he said fine, and you were there when I said, if it wasn't fine, would you tell me it is? And he said, yes, I would tell you it's fine. And then he added, it would have to be torn for me not
Something's
to
going to be torn.
Lefty-lefty matchup, and that one bends down and out. Koschel's hit left-handers pretty well at a 271 clip. His conference batting average 193. Pitch is on the corner for a called strike. That spin rate, Troy, was less than 2,000.
Yeah, that changeup is just got some hover action to it.
Left on left changeup with a 1900 spin rate.
Might almost be like some type of a splitter.
Rutenbar at second with 2 gone. Koschel lifts that in the air. The wind will try and work this towards the chalk, but Utermark there to make the catch. Razorbacks got a free base runner. Strand Rutenbar in scoring position. 1 hitless and scoreless innings in the books.
Got to work on them when we get runners in scoring position. We leave a lot of runners in scoring position this year.
What?
121 votes on tonight's poll, and 93% say Arkansas is going to win tonight. 7%.
Did we hit our 100?
Yes, we did. Before the inning was over, we were at 125. Did a fantastic job.
Turn my slider into a curveball and a cutter. The curveball is super depthy and the cutter is really short and hard. All the stuff plays off my fastball and all the stuff plays off of all the different pitches.
That's a heck of a self-scanning report. And Troy, it's interesting because that cutter did not exist last year. It feels like that has been a big-time pitch for him this season.
Yeah, I think so. The cutter is what was really working for him early on, and then he started landing that breaking ball. I think he was overthrowing the curve, and it was ending up at the head of the left-handed batter. But now it's really dropping in there. And, again, with that 4-pitch arsenal, with a 97, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, that's really tough.
That's why you get that 70-grade fastball. He's a low heartbeat kid. Well, he's been effective this year. And his pitch to Will Furness misses up and in for a ball. Furness, back on Saturday against Georgia, played his 200th game in a Rebel uniform, and he had 2 homers, and he finished the day with 5.
Well, it's going to be tough for Ole Miss if Hunter Dees is going to get
that
strike.
Yeah,
strike right
absolutely.
there. I mean, you can see Will Furness kind of going, I should be 2-0 right now.
He struck out all 3 Rebels in the first. That one floated out to center for a base hit, and Will Furness doing what he has done so many times over the course of his career, get another hit. That's his 54th of the season.
It's just a great job of pulling his hands inside the baseball right there and just getting enough of the barrel to get that ball out there into center field.
We heard Dietz with his self-scouting report talking about adding that cutter and his curveball being more depthy was his word. I talked to Ryder Helfrich today about calling pitches for Dietz because Hunter really enjoys talking about his repertoire. As Colin Reuter sends one in the air down the line and right, and this will bend and land foul, giving me more time to finish the story. And I said to Helfrich, does Dietz talk to you a lot between innings about setting up hitters and pitches? And he gave me that look, and he had a little bit of a smile, and he said, he throws whatever I ask him to do. He didn't think much, I believe was the phrase. He leans on Helfrich, trusts Ryder. But the unique part is, Troy, when you have 3 pitches working, you're a big-time SEC pitcher. There's more to work with Dietz.
Absolutely. And then he's got the 4th one on the right hand with the changeup as well. So, again, a little nuke lelouch. Just go out there and throw pitches, and I'll figure it out for you.
It's unique because in the minors this year, there's a lot of conversation about teams calling pitches from the bench. And in the big leagues, I believe it's the Marlins and Rockies who are calling in pitches for their catchers. And that's a strike at the bottom of the zone to Reuter. And yet Helfrich and the Razorbacks for years have let their catchers call games in the SEC.
Yeah, I think that is kind of one of the recruiting things that Dave Van Horn does for his catchers, and saying, hey, you're going to call pitches here at Arkansas. You're going to be really prepared when you start getting to pro ball.
1-2 to Reuter. Softly hit to third. Pompey scoops it. Flips to second for one. On to first for the 5-4-3 double play. Ground balls are more democratic, Troy. After 3 strikeouts in the first, why not get 2 outs with one soft ground ball?
We'll be
Absolutely,
back here
TJ Pompey kind of had just a little trouble getting that ball out of his glove. Made a good feed to Souza.
Good sir.
And an easy 5-4-3 double play for the Hogs. I like that, though, by Pompey. Get a good grip on it. If you only get 1 out, you get 1 out. But make a good feed right in the chest of that second baseman, turning that pivot.
Topher Jones gets 96 for a wave and a miss. 41 at bats on the year, a couple of home runs, getting the start in left.
Zach in, appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Welcome to the Star Squad.
Working at the top of the zone, but too high.
I think Dietz even had to look back. He thought that one was a strike, but it looks like the strike zone's not going to be high. It's going to be down tonight for Derek Malika.
Well, Jones has been late on a couple of those swings.
If I'm Ryder Helfrich, I don't believe I speed up Jones's bat with something off speed. Maybe a changeup that's going to be down and away out of the strike zone.
Somebody get that kid a new bat. My goodness.
It's back to work.
Thing's all rusty.
Big breaking ball, strike 3. 4 Ks, Troy, through 2 scoreless innings.
How about all
Set
4
him up
strikeouts looking against the Razorbacks? You talk about dropping a big 12-6 Uncle Charlie. That was it right there. And this game's still knotted up at 0.
Get him thinking fastball, 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 and then doop, got him with the Uncle Charlie. Adam Wainwright from the Cardinals used to have one of the best curveballs, 12-6 curveballs in baseball, I think. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Hope you're feeling good.
I'm going to say this. There's only been one pitcher that's taken out a bird.
Yeah, we saw that. I saw that one back in the day. Yeah, Eagles there. Yeah. I've seen a lot of Barry Zito too. But the thing about Wainwright is he did it all the way up to the end of his career. I mean, he was still getting people out with that slow looping curveball. Randy Johnson, yep, definitely was the guy that hit the bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. You see the record right there. And again, I think these two teams, they just kind of take it up a notch when they play each other, which is great. I love the rivalries.
Yeah, that's the thing, Billy, if they can hit
Those two dudes have seen a lot of ball in this conference, haven't they?
Really have.
Here's Damian Ruiz facing Hunter Elliott.
Well, you talk about those two coaches and just how well they've adapted over the last few years. We talked to Coach Bianco today, and he said,
Sorry,
you know what?
should I have said
you just have to deal with what's
incinerated
going
a
on
bird
right
with the
now
ball?
with NIL and everything. So it's they've figured out how to do it.
As Coach Bianco said, every job or enterprise has probably changed quite a bit over 20 or 30 years. It's just that college baseball has changed each and every year for the last 3 or 4 years.
It's been on warp speed for sure.
Richard, it's good to see you again, buddy.
Ruiz top 10 of the conference
That's
and
up the
on
middle. Good
base,
hit,
and he will
Ruiz.
single up the middle past a couple of Rebels for Arkansas's first hit. Played back in by Federico, and Ruiz on base to begin the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah.
That ball almost went right through Hunter Elliott. You can see he's a little frustrated. He thought he should have made that play, and it was inches away from his glove.
He played it
Elliott
smooth,
is coming
didn't he?
off the worst outing of his career last week when he allowed career high in runs and hits, 8 runs, 9 hits, over 3 2/3 innings against Georgia.
He can
Rebels
do
were
that today
trailing
too
8
if he
to
wants
nothing
to.
in that game. They were in danger maybe of being run ruled, and they came all the way back to win, scoring 10 unanswered, all on home runs to get Elliott off the hook. But Troy, that was not a Hunter Elliott type
takes 10 years to
performance
throw
at
to
all,
first base, doesn't
albeit
he?
against a really good Georgia team.
Man, Georgia can really hit, but Hunter Elliott's been spectacular this season. And again, he's just one of those guys that really knows how to pitch.
Nolan Souza's been stuck on 2 homers for a while. He fouls one back and out of play. It was interesting today talking to Coach Bianco about Hunter Elliott because of just his time in the program. And he said Elliott's built different. He called him the ultimate competitor. Obviously was on the mound during that national championship game in 2022 and pitched for Team USA and Coach Bianco that summer. Souza lifts one in the air, right center field. The Winds start to work this back to the 400-foot side.
Man, he just missed
and
it.
Federico there to make the catch. Nolan Souza tried to take advantage of the breeze, and he just about got one out of here.
Yeah, that one got in on Souza's hands just a tick. And Federico, I don't think he realized that ball was going to carry as far as it did. Off the bat, you can see it just kind of cut that baseball instead of drove it. Look how far Federico has to keep shading back, and then that last little jump there right before he gets to the wall.
Souza didn't homer in the month of April. Just about started May with one. And speaking of pickoffs, Ruiz was in no man's land, and now the Rebels try to finish off this rundown. Elliott's involved as well, doing a lot of running. And finally, Ruiz is tagged out. And, Troy, that's the 4th pickoff for Hunter Elliott this season.
I just don't understand when you're jabbing back to first base that your momentum goes toward first base, and then he jumped
and
back.
We cannot do
second.
that.
If you're not going anywhere, then
Lack
just
of
jab back.
attention to details.
Watch him jab, and then
that's some type of move, though.
Yeah, that move is great.
I had Andy Pettit for a couple of years in Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to
and
that
he had
pitcher.
that ability to make
He's
it
got a
look
hell of
like
a
he was
pickoff move.
2/3 of the way to home plate, and all of a sudden that ball zips over to first. And I think Elliott picked me off on that replay.
What's really going to hurt is if Kealoy gets a hold of one right here and you get a solo shot instead of 2-run homer.
Kuhio, one of those Razorbacks that has not hit left-handed pitching maybe quite to his liking at 194. But Troy, you look up, I know it's been frustrating at times for Eloy compared to last year, but he's still not that far away overall from being at that 300 mark.
No, I don't think so. It seems like he's had much better at-bats the last several games. I mean, his eyes gotten a lot better, seeing command of the strike zone. Like pitches like that he would have probably swung at a month ago.
Jim?
Now the base is empty, 2 gone. Kuhio had a couple of base hits, scored a pair of runs, drove in a run Wednesday in a 5-2 slogfest over the Demons from Northwestern State.
Elliott took a little something off at 86 on that last pitch and thought he might have had a strike at the bottom part of the zone.
Eloy might come unglued at 3-1, and
good changeup.
He didn't get cheated on that change.
Might see another one right here.
Pokes one out to right for a base hit. That was some plate coverage. Eloy gets Arkansas's 2nd hit this inning.
Just a changeup that was a little up in the zone, and Kuhio did a great job. I don't think that was a strike. I think that pitch was off the plate. Brett, we've got a lot of veterans for both ball clubs in this ball game, and this is one right here for Arkansas. Guys had a tremendous amount of college at-bats.
This is career game number 197. If he gets a base hit and stands next to Furness, I think that'd be 400 games between that duo. But he's one of those guys, Troy. It's been a conversational topic all season, those non-conference numbers during SEC, and certainly the disparity between the two.
Yeah, those stats aren't good, and a lot of those guys are left-handed.
Got to tell you what, Aloy was about picked off. Again, that's the third Razorback with no intent to run that has just been standing there on a throw to first.
I mean, you have to get like about a 3-foot lead if you're not going anywhere. Just don't even have to dive back.
That's inside to Stewart, 2-0. Again, no Reese Robinette today. He was ruled out. It looked like he got kind of dinged or tagged on the helmet or the face at the plate Wednesday. So Rutenbar has been in the outfield, moved to first. Stewart and Aloy, who have both been DHing, are both in the lineup with Zach and right. And that one is tattooed into the seats just beyond the edge of that screen, and hopefully everybody's okay. Well, I tell you what, if that's the fan that got the baseball, that youngster was living right. He was in danger zone.
That's where you have to catch that with the blanket.
Another flip to first, and again, Troy, these Razorbacks with short leads get locked up to the point where they aren't moving or there's a hesitation before that dive.
It's about halfway through the move that they really can't figure it out.
Now it's got him going back to the base.
I mean, that's what you normally do back in the day, was jab back to first base, but you can see the jab back, and then about right here is when you're going like, oh my gosh, he's coming.
Doesn't it look like he's going home from that angle?
It really does. That is about as good as it gets on a move from a left-hander.
That one's hit a ton, but a mile foul.
Stewie just got ahead of
over the building entirely. So there's been a few times where Elliott has thrown to first and that runner has just been locked up and unable to get back quickly.
Yeah, it is,
and then
Pacer. He's flirting with it for sure.
There have been some times when he's come to the plate and the runner's been going back to first.
Yeah. Now Aloy's getting
it looks like he's leaning.
Aloy's loving
when he
this
throws to first. He looks like he's leaning like he is going home from that other angle.
He'll get an early start. Payoff pitch with two gone. Stewart fouls one back. We'll do it again.
Even with that, I think Elliott was the ball was almost out of his hand, and Aloy hadn't moved at first base. The first baseman's not even over there covering him, and he's scared to death. That's a good move when there's no chance you're going to get picked off and you still have the runner frozen.
That's no trust in Hudson Polk. Stewart waiting on another payoff. Here it comes. Down and out, ball four. So 3 of the 4 Razorbacks who have come to the plate this inning have reached that pickoff, looming even larger now.
Boy, it really is. And again, that's going to bring out pitching coach for Ole Miss to talk to Hunter Elliott. It almost seems like Elliott's trying to be just a little too fine today, and his stuff really plays. And so he's a guy that can fill up the strike zone a little bit more without getting hurt.
Joel Mangrum, early in his tenure there at Oxford, wise enough to cover his face as he's talking with Hunter Elliott. Again, coming off that rough outing last week against Georgia, even though the Rebels came back to win that game, but 9 hits and 8 runs and 3 2/3 innings.
Backing up just a little bit, looking at the at-bat right there by Zach Stewart. Just a veteran at-bat, fouled off some good pitches, laid off the pitch down in the zone for ball 4. Now Arkansas has the very streaky TJ Pompey up. If he hits the ball and he puts it in play, it's probably going to be a hit, but he could strike out as well.
One of 3 Razorbacks in double figures in home runs with 10, batting 9th. It's where he's lived in this lineup for a bulk of the season. And Elliott just misses outside on that changeup.
I love how they say it's the streaky Pompey. Like, come on now.
Third pitch for Elliott. I know there's so many similarities with these teams. Runs
Eagles,
coming into
it's time
tonight.
for an eruption.
Arkansas scored a grand total of 3 more runs than the Rebels. Hits allowed, 2 more by the Rebels than the Razorbacks. Fielding percentage the same. Obviously more power, though, for the Rebels compared to the Razorbacks. Arkansas hit for a better batting average. Ole Miss a better on-base percentage and a better slugging. But these teams are so similar in so many different offensive categories.
And the same exact record in conference play, 11-10. So it is eerily similar of how well these teams have played this season. Kind of both teams have had a little bit of ups and downs.
2-1 pitch. Rip foul into the seats. Down the line and left. Again, hopefully everybody's okay.
Straighten some of these hard hit balls out. We'd be in business.
Look at the runs, Troy. 3 more for the Rebels.
That's pretty crazy stuff right there.
A little better ERA for Ole Miss. Fouled back and out of play. In fact, when we talked to Coach Bianco today and even Mike Clement, the hitting coach before the game, they both said the same thing. We pitched really well over the course of this season.
Yeah, I think so. And the thing for Ole Miss, they kind of had a slow start to conference play, and they're really kind of picking up speed as the season progresses.
Aloy at second,
Hey,
Stewart
appreciate
at
it,
first
Fishman.
with
Good to
2
see you,
gone in
buddy.
the inning.
He's here with me today.
Pompey waits on the 2-2. Elliott works with 2 on the timer.
There it is.
That one laced
There
to
it
the gap,
is.
left center
Let's
field.
go.
It's got a chance.
Eruption,
towards the wall.
baby.
Goodbye.
Let's go.
TJ Pompey with the laser to the home pen. One big swing scores 3. 112 off the bat from Pompey. And the Razorbacks strike first in a big-time way.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brett, the thing that TJ Pompey's been working on is kind of sinking down in his legs just a little bit more, not standing as upright and being very quiet with that
right
upper
there.
body.
Some
Watch
mustard
how
on
quiet
that one,
upper
baby.
body is, and then he just explodes. An absolute rocket out to left field. Hit 415 feet.
He's just getting a little drift forward in his stance, and as we all know, that changes your eye level a bit. Obviously, you lose some juice.
Yeah, your hands really drag when the upper body starts fading toward the pitcher, that drift like you talked about.
I don't know about you, Troy. Off the bat, I thought that was going to be in the gap, maybe off the fence, but it ended up clearing the wall.
Well, it was only less than 20-degree exit, or the launch angle, so it was an absolute frozen rope.
And Rutenbar hammers one foul outside of first. Run so tough to come by and score in series openers, so when a team can get 3 on one swing, that is a big-time pick-me-up.
The only thing that is, for Ole Miss is the ball is flying out of Baumwalker tonight. It's the breeze is blowing out to right center field, so it's not playing like the normal Baumwalker where it knocks down a bunch of balls that are hit well out to that right center field gap. So this could be a high-scoring game.
Maybe like Game 1 last Saturday in Oxford. That is a little bit out to Carter Rutenbar. It's 2-2. Rutenbar hit by a pitch from Elliott to begin the bottom of the first.
There's a couple pitches.
But was he, though?
I think Elliott thought that they were strikes that haven't gone his way.
Agreed. Rutenbar will chase. He will K.
Come on, Rudy.
To end the inning.
You don't hardly swing yourself like that.
But Troy, the Razorbacks got one big swing to plate 3.
Boy, just an absolute frozen rope. Not a bad pitch on the outside corner, but just a laser into the hog pen. Hogs up 3-0.
4:15 for the eruption.
There you go, folks. You have the got the eruption we were looking for, and now you get the major razor eruption. Network. I knew what you were trying to say there, network. Hey, Amanda. How you doing? There you go. That's better. definitely need to come out and shut them down now. Yeah, means you got fooled a little bit there, huh, Lego? Network was quick though. He's like, ooh, let me delete that and retype that in. Yeah. It was still funny though.
And this is Dom Decker. 8 home runs, 25 knocked in. Rebels were back in the postseason last year after missing for a couple of seasons and ended up falling to Murray State in the winner-take-all regional final. Was a 12-11 Racers win. We know Murray State went on to the World Series, and Decker was part of that team where he had 351. So there's an expression, if you can't beat him, join him. Decker beat him and joined him.
Well, I tell you what, you play so well against an opponent, and they'll light your eyes up, and that's why they went and got Decker, and he's had a great season.
It was funny. They had the
Man,
Arts Festival in
becoming a
Oxford
member.
last weekend, the double-decker, and Decker hit home runs in Game 1. He had a pair, so I guess that was a double-decker on
very nice.
The Art Festival double-decker weekend. Did Dietz get a swing? I don't think so, but it doesn't cost anything to ask, and third base umpire Michael Holman says no.
It's a really good at-bat right here by Dom Decker.
Dietz has struck out 4 of the first 6 that he's faced. That's lifted down the line and left. The wind is going to work this back towards the grass in foul territory. And, boy, Pompey had a lot of ground to cover, and he made the play in front of Ruiz for out number 1.
It just looked like a ball that Damian Ruiz should have caught, but I think Pompey just called him off early on. But, boy, this wind is a little different than normal. Normally the wind is going to blow that ball toward the stands, and it almost blew it back into fair play. There's the flags right there, Baumwalker.
Here's Austin Foley,
Now,
the
Fishman, it
catcher.
looks like you still got your rank on there. 3 months. You were one of the first
Hitting
ones.
at a 184 clip on the season with 6 homers. He did homer in both games of that doubleheader Saturday, though. And Troy, T.J. Pompey, who has the 3-run homer in this game, leads the SEC in strikeouts with 64, but there's a lot of Rebels right behind him.
There really is. This team's got some pop, but they have a lot of swing and miss as well, and it's kind of a bad combination for them when they're facing the #1 strikeout pitcher in the conference.
Good Lord.
Dietz.
I think it's the storyline that you track over the course of the game when Dietz K'd the first 3 that he faced tonight, and whether these Rebels can get a few balls up and out against him, kind of balance out some of those strikeout numbers. I think both of these pitchers, Dietz and Elliott, the lefties, trying to find the parameters of the zone in the first couple of innings. 3-1 pitch, that's at the bottom of the zone, 94 for strike 2.
I'd be surprised if Dietz doesn't come right back with that fastball again.
Here's the payoff. It's a chopper foul. In that doubleheader where Foley hit a couple of home runs, he also took a shot off his leg, so he did not catch on Sunday or that midweek game against Mississippi State.
Took one off in the knee, didn't he? That's no fun.
Yeah, he hadn't been feeling great. He's back behind the plate today. Now he's going to be on first base with the first walk from Dietz tonight.
It is, Eagles.
Rebels were playing such great baseball, but then they lose that 14-inning game Saturday, 6 hours worth, and you almost felt like whoever won that game was going to win on Sunday. When you finish at midnight, you got the quick turnaround.
There was, Roy.
It just shows the quality of this Rebel team to bounce back after that tough loss. And in between pitches right there, batters, Helfrich went in the dugout, and I don't know if he got a new catcher's mitt or something, but he's ready to go now. I think it was a brand new mitt.
Owen Pano, Sox went out to right center field. Mike Anu on the move, but he can't get there. Has to take it on a bounce. That is the second single for the Rebels, so the 8 and 9 hole hitters both reach with one gone to turn this lineup over.
Boy, if New was playing normal depth in center field, but he was swung way over to that left center field gap, and he just couldn't quite get there. I think the last part of that run, he decided he was trying to figure out, am I going to lay out for this ball or not? And if you're ever going to do that on those soft kind of hanging fly balls is when you want to, because it's not going to roll too far past you.
Here's Federico.
Let's get a double play right here. Save some pitches.
Struck out looking in the first. We talked about this Rebels offense so much better in the month of April, and really one of the big reasons why has been the play and the numbers of Federico as he takes a strike. In the month of April, his OPS well over 1,100 with a .383 batting average. And not to be outdone, he made the diving catch to end game one of that doubleheader Saturday in Oxford that probably kept the game from being tied and potentially extra innings before the 14-inning game.
Yeah, that was a Sports Center highlight catch right there. And again, when you've got your leadoff guy that's really clicking at the plate, that just kind of changes the whole dynamic of your offense.
Trying to get Ole Miss right back in this game after Pompey had the 3-run homer in the bottom of the second. Ground ball to Koschel. Can Arkansas get two? There's one. Relay from Souza. In time at first with Rutenbar on the receiving end for the double play to end the third. Second double play turned by the Razorbacks. We'll talk to Mike Bianco when you come.
Saves on that pitch count and gets us out of the inning. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely the pitcher's best friend.
Series, what are you seeing with Elliott and Dietz so far this evening?
Well, obviously Dietz has gotten off to a great start, and just as advertised, a ton of strikes with a variety of pitches, and certainly we knew that going in. Unfortunately for us, Hunter I think has really struggled with his command, especially with the two breaking balls, a slider and a cutter. The changeup's been okay. He's gotten some weak contact, some swing and miss, but too inconsistent I think with his command. Usually he can turn that around. We'll see.
Mike, appreciate the time. We'll let you get back to work.
All right, guys. Thank you.
That's a good scouting report from a former catcher, longtime head coach on these two pitchers.
Yeah.
But he's mentioned what we've seen, Elliott kind of fighting just a little bit with that command.
Yeah, and it seems like he hasn't leaned on that fastball, which is he's really been able to spot that and then pitch off of it.
Mike Anu, first pitch swinging, wraps one to Pano at short. One pitch, one out to begin the bottom of the third inning.
It's a good start for Hunter Elliott. Again, goes right back to that fastball, kind of on that outer third, and New tries to pull it, and that's what's going to happen.
Again, 12 starts as a true freshman freshman All-American, part of that national championship team, and he played a big role in Omaha. Then had the season-ending elbow injury in 23 after he pitched in a couple of games and 6 innings. Missed the following year. Last year, though, was so much fun to see him bounce back as he pumps in a strike to Helfrich. Troy, off last season with not just the strikeouts but the wins. He was the only returning pitcher in the country to have earned 10-plus wins and struck out 100-plus hitters from last year.
Wow. Yeah, he's just so good in that, Coach Bianco talked about, how he's built and a true competitor, so he's not going to let that 3-run homer bother him. He's going to try to lock this Razorback team down.
Catches the outside corner to Helfrich for strike 2. Ryder flew out to center, back in the first. Did Helfrich offer? He did not, says Jeff Head. It'll be fun to see Cade Townsend tomorrow starting for the Rebels. It's quite a 1-2 punch with Elliott and Townsend. Walker Hooks, Troy, with 5 saves and a trio of wins coming out of the bullpen has also been outstanding.
Yeah, this could be like the 3 best starters in the whole entire SEC from a consistency standpoint. I mean, there's guys that probably are a little more electric, but when you talk about 1, 2, 3 and the combined, of those 3 guys are really, really good.
Probably quite a few scouts here tonight to see Dietz and Townsend tomorrow. Guys like Helfrich also factor in. And Ryder with the walk. 43rd walk this season. He's tied now with Dom Decker for the most in the conference.
And that just shows what kind of hitter Ryder Helfrich is. You've got an Arkansas team that's pretty kind of scuffling offensively. You're one of the leaders. You're one of the guys that can really put up some numbers, and he is okay taking his base on balls.
Disengagement before Camden Koschel steps in. He popped up to the third baseman Utermark. Back in the first.
Helfrich's got a little safer lead over there at first base than the other Razorbacks have had. I think that's a wise move.
So if Ruiz doesn't get picked off last inning, you can make the argument it would have been at least 4 runs for the Razorbacks and maybe more.
I mean, that could be big, especially like
not
we
the
talked about.
argument.
The wind is blowing out, and the ball is going to carry. This Ole Miss team with almost 80 home runs on the season, they can definitely leave the yard in a hurry.
Helfrich going back to the base as the pitch was delivered to Koschel. Rules 1 foul.
I'm almost more inclined, if I'm over at first base, to have a much shorter lead, not even need to jab back, and not have my momentum going away from the next base I'm trying to get to.
I think you're onto something. It just gives you a better chance maybe to
it's hard
beat
to
out a
change,
play at second base.
You're changing your momentum. It's going the wrong direction.
It's such a weapon, though, to have that pickoff move. And you think about the next level where you get a couple of disengagements. And I was watching a AA game this year where the pitcher was out and he went ahead and picked anyhow and picked the runner off first base. Where if you don't get the pickoff, runner advances to second. Koschel swings, drives one high in the air to deep right field. It's up on the building and gone.
Oh, my God.
Boy, an absolute no-doubter from Camden Koschel. 422 feet. And it's the Razorbacks out to an early 5-0 lead on a pair of bombs from Pompey and now Koschel. Troy, that just disappeared.
Boy, off the bat, the only thing that if you're Camden Koschel, you might be worrying about is if that thing's going to hook or not. But I think he hit the ball so hard, it stayed straight. But that's the hanging breaking ball about chest high. And again, a no-doubter just disappears up onto the Hunt Family Development Center. Yeah, you can see Cam. The ankle's not hurting him at all right now.
No.
He is floating around the bases.
When it lands up on top of the building, it's hard to see in a replay. You could just see the fans standing out on the ledge, looking up and turning around and trying to follow that baseball.
Well, the thing that you always watch is what are the outfielders doing? And Becerra in right field took about one step and just was admiring the flight of the baseball.
2 home runs. How many more do we get today?
It's a Razorback team that didn't even hit a fly ball to the warning track on Wednesday against Northwestern State. They've had 2 homers for 5 runs this evening.
And not even
I would
close
say
to
one.
the warning track. I don't think
One
there was a ball hit within 20, 25 feet.
There's Damian Ruiz, and after a long mound visit after the home run, Elliott sends one to the backstop.
Just a
I think
bit
he hit
outside.
the ball. Well, for a Rebels team that has pitched so
ball's still
well
on
as
its
of
way
late,
to Fort
have
Smith,
back-to-back
Bobby.
outings for Hunter Elliott that have not been Hunter Elliott-like. It's not been a great deal of fun.
Well, it just seemed like he was amped up tonight, and his command was just a little off. And then borderline pitches like that have not
Agreed.
gone his way. So, when you're sitting there trying to pitch from behind, you think you've just
Hope you and your
painted
son
a
are enjoying
corner
the
Oh,
stream,
and you don't
Mr.
get the
Jingles.
call. That's frustrating.
Yeah, a couple of times he's come down off the mound expecting a strike, and you've seen it in his body language. As he
If he's
fades
watching
one,
with you.
a changeup at the top of the zone for a called strike to Ruiz, who singled in the second and then was picked off.
Boy, he's been really leaning on that off-speed pitch so far this ball game.
Working fast now, and he gets the wave and a miss from Ruiz.
Kurt, another $5 super chat.
That
I
change
told
had
you
some
we
drop.
would
Man, it
punish
really
him
did.
next rotation. Their pitcher is done.
The spin rate quite a bit lower than the previous
D-O-N-E,
change.
done. Appreciate you, Kurt.
Almost 14 inches of horizontal
Support
break
is
on that
greatly
changeup.
appreciated, brother.
Fouled right back to the screen from Ruiz.
And then that 90-mile-an-hour fastball looks about 94 when you've thrown in a 79-mile change on that pitch before.
Does have a little more juice to it, to say the least.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back with that really good changeup down and away.
Poked by the mound. Decker there. Ruiz hustling up the line, but retired by a stride for out number 2.
That's the second ball that is gone just right past Hunter Elliott.
That was at 68 miles an hour, though, so that one wasn't going to hurt as much. It was Ruiz who hit one 106 by him last inning. Here's Nolan Souza. He flied out to almost the fence to the right of the batter's eye back in the second. Got one up in that 14-mile-an-hour breeze blowing out to right and right center. But again, he did not homer in the month of April, and he's flushed that month and just about had one in the month
60
of May.
pitches by the end of the
Razorback
third
team
is
that's hit a
actually
pair of bombs against Hunter
pretty good
Elliott
for
tonight.
us, Sarge,
That was
I
a
would
great pitch
say.
by Hunter Elliott.
Yeah,
Up
he's
and in,
averaging
really
about
tied
20 pitches
Souza
an
up.
inning.
And Souza had a really good batting practice, hit several up on top of the building, so Elliott's trying to keep him from getting those arms extended.
This kid cannot consistently throw it over the plate.
I think he really likes to lean Elliott on that cutter to left-handers. There it was right there. Man, that had some huge sweeping movement.
And again, it did not miss by much.
I think that's what has been key so far for Arkansas hitters is laying off those borderline pitches that Elliott's making. They're just off the plate.
Souza offered it a high one.
Still could be
Sends Decker
problems.
back, and again the wind will start to work this towards the right fielder, Becerra.
Good thing he
He was
there.
in the right place to make that catch when Decker could not grab it. Inning ends, but Troy, Arkansas had another big swing, this time from Kojal.
Yeah, after a walk by Ryder Helfrich, and no doubter up on top of the building for Camden Kojal, and he is really getting that power stroke going. Hogs up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's nice to see the basket going. Well, I'm telling you, if they can get to hitting going, it gets contagious.
What a big lift for your team to get the swings from Pompey and Koschel to put 5 on the board.
Yeah, and what set that up was obviously some really good at-bats. Ryder fighting off a couple pitches, getting it to full count, and then getting ball 4, and then we hit the 2-run homer instead of a solo, and then obviously Pompey fought off some good pitches, but before that, Cahillo fought off some good pitches, got a single, and I think we ended up having another walk in there, and then we got the 3-run homer. So, home runs with nobody on, they don't hurt you a whole lot. Them 2- and 3-run homers, obviously they start to add up.
Boy, Dave, just talk a little bit about Hunter Dietz and what he's doing on the mound tonight.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing on the mound a lot lately. He just has been, throwing a lot of strikes, and he works fast. I mean, you can see him. He just gets the ball and ready to roll. Last inning he really didn't have the breaking ball, but the first inning he did. First pitch of this inning was a breaking ball, first strike. We'll see how this one goes.
Dave, appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you.
I liked his analysis of the at-bats or plate appearances preceding the home run.
Absolutely. Those are the things that coaches see. They see the little things that really help a team win a ball game.
Becerra with a big wave and a miss. Looking for his 20th home run. A couple of weeks ago, he was the SEC co-player of the week. Hit a home run in 4 games that week.
Got him.
He's going to strike out, and that's number 5 for
Back
Hunter
to the pine,
Dietz.
meat.
Troy, the break and the sweep and the movement from the pitches tonight have been really impressive.
Yeah, that's the cutter right there by Hunter Dietz. He'll throw that in almost the mid-80s, and you can see how it really locked up Tristan Becerra. That is his second strikeout looking the Becerra has against Hunter Dietz. You're talking about a guy that's almost hit 20 home runs this season.
Here's Udemark, who struck out looking in the first. When you talk about the curve, though, on the cutter from Dietz, spin rate is not that different. The velocity is about, 5-6 miles an hour different. Udemark skies one in the air and out of play towards the right.
Next year I'll have a forwards K and a backwards K for you guys.
85,
for the members.
87 mile an hour.
That way you can have
velocity and
caught
the
looking
curve's
or
right
swing
around
and strike.
82. I think I've seen it as low as 80. I think when he was trying to overthrow that curve is when it was really hanging.
Udemark skies one high in the air to right, and Stewart has it measured. Able to make the catch route number 2.
It has been requested also to get a
Dietz
tomato,
a couple of
so
singles
you guys can throw
and
tomatoes
walk
at
one
the
batter,
Ravens.
but around the 5 strikeouts, he's also induced 2 ground ball double plays.
Yeah,
so
those have been big to really cut down that pitch count. When you're a strikeout pitcher, you can really chew up some pitches in a hurry, and those double plays will get you off the field and keep you in the game a lot longer.
2 gone for Will Furness, who singled into center in the second. Take strike 1.
One of the better fastballs by Dietz at 96 right there.
Will Furness might be able to roll out of bed and hit 300 plus.
Boy, he's just
There you
been
go,
super consistent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know there's some
like
in
a lot of players
emojis.
really loves hitting it home, and there's something about getting used to that batter's eye and just the environment.
Sweeping breaking ball at the top of the zone. Troy Dietz has been able to work those different parameters, and he has struck out 6 through 4 scoreless innings.
Boy, the cutter has been absolutely electric, and those left-handed batters have not been able to figure it out. That is 6.
Another one standing there looking at the. Dietz is dealing tonight, baby.
Yes, sir.
Just like if you want to get a deal on a Build Right building, you can call them at 479-544-0167. They're guided by faith, built with integrity, and driven by excellence. And I know firsthand because I have been in their buildings, and they are fantastic what they can do with their buildings. You can go see them at 20321 East Highway 412, Suite 212 in Springdale. Let them know the Sarge sent you. Got to pay them bills.
It's
We
the
will
second
bring you
season
the
of a
SEC
single
all the tournament games,
elimination
too.
format. The key, though, Troy, is the top 4 seeds receive double buys. If you're in that
The
5
Razorback
to 8
tournament
range,
games, obviously.
you receive a buy. And you've got 2 teams at 11 and 10 that are trying to see if they can make a little bit of a move here in the last 3 weeks of conference play.
Yeah, it'd be nice for either one of these teams to get a bye in that tournament. And again, a lot of things can change for these next 3 weekends.
Kuhio Aloy with a base hit in the second and then scored on that 3-run homer from T.J. Pompey. All other teams in that tournament, though, if you don't receive a bye or a double bye, you have to win 5 games in 5 days, and that's a tough task in this conference.
That'll chew through some pitching right there. Kuhio Aloy, he is waiting to get something he can get a hold of.
Checks on a high one.
Good eye there, Aloy.
Again, just a take like that just shows how much better that he's seeing the baseball and not expanding that strike zone. You're right, that average up to 296.
Ooh, he
Kuhio
smoked that one in the
smashes
gap.
one out to center. Federico turns it.
Gone.
It'll clear the fence.
Oh, my God.
A laser beam of a home run for Aloy. 115 off his mighty bat to the Razorbacks lead at 6-0. All 6 runs.
Chris
scoring in a
Sanford,
trio
appreciate
of
you becoming a
homers.
member of the channel. Welcome to the SAR
That ball
Squad.
jumped out of here in a blink of an eye.
How about a home run to center field in under 16 degrees?
Aaron
exit
said, I
angle?
feel another home
That
run
is
coming.
A frozen
He
rope.
called
We thought
it.
Pompey's was hit on the rope. That was almost 20 degrees. Aloy
Somebody
just got
said
a
Aloy
hanging
ain't hitting a
changeup
home run
by Hunter
anytime
Elliott.
soon.
Look at this thing. It is an absolute rocket.
Little
Looked like
did they
a
know
shot
it
out
was
of a
one inning
cannon.
later.
Aloy was
Frozen
another
rope,
Razorback who
410
did not
feet.
homer in the month of April. March the 29th, his last blast. But, Troy, those numbers keep improving. With a 2-hit game today, he's chasing 300. And I don't know if I've seen a player work harder or grind more during batting practices over the last several weeks to try and get right down the stretch.
Oh, I think so. And he's really trying to focus on hitting the ball at the batter's eye in center field and not really pulling off. The power has always been there. Just tremendous bat speed and exit velocity.
Kurt
so if he can just keep
says,
that ball
I'm
in
donating
between the
5 new
gaps,
subs
he
if
is
we run
absolutely
rule
scary.
tonight.
2-0 to Stewart. He was swinging for number 4. But you're right, when you have a home run with a 15-degree launch angle, 115 off your bat, it's a wonder it doesn't go through a fence or through a human out there in the hog pen.
It really looked like he hit a 3-wood off the deck in a fairway. That was just a screamer.
6-0 Razorbacks. Stewart walked and scored in the second and takes a strike. We spent a lot of time talking about Arkansas's offense just trying to get right and find a groove.
Yeah,
or
that was
ride
like
the
a
wave
javelin missile
on
fired
Wednesday.
there, Bobby.
They left 12 runners on base in that game, and that was despite losing 2 runners at the plate and a runner at third. Did not have a home run, didn't come close to a home run. And after the game, DVH said something very similar, Troy. He said, we just got to continue to get better. He said, we play good, then we play okay. He said, we need to elevate and stay there. It's that time of the year. You got to turn it on. It's hard to go back and forth. And I think this is an encouraging stride for a team that wants to find that next gear.
Well, when you feel like if you can have Aloy and Zach Stewart in the lineup, and if those two guys get hot with the power that they have, it completely changed the complexion of this Arkansas offense.
And it brings up T.J. Pompey.
Do we get another
this
eruption?
Was the swing in a 0-0 game back in the second.
Well, watch how quiet that upper body is. That's a pitch on the outer third, and he just
Do
hit
we
a
get 2
bullet
eruptions in
out
one
into
game?
left field. That's number 11 for T.J. Pompey, and he is really starting to get in a groove with that power stroke.
So 2 of the 3 Razorbacks in double figures at homers have added to their totals today, and Kuhio Aloy mixes in number 6. And the Rebels about to make a pitching change. So back-to-back weekends, it didn't go quite the way Hunter Elliott and Ole Miss would like. 3 innings pitched, plus a couple of batters, 6 earned runs. We'll step aside and come back with a new Rebels pitcher at a 6-0.
Well, we chased that guy out of here.
Goodbye.
That's it. Next. Yeah, big field goal. He'll line one to out there by the camera stand in center field, about 400, I'd say 410 feet, probably somewhere in there, give or take. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm responsible for this, but this did all start happening when I hit the Major Razor, Fire Major Razor. So, I mean, just saying. There's something to Fire Major Razor. We are at over 1,000 viewers. Love it. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Come on in.
Yeah, you see, Waters, everything he throws is going to be hard. The fastball is going to be in the mid-90s. He'll touch 96. He'll throw a slider and a cutter. Everything he throws is going to be about 85 miles an hour or harder. Here's a pretty good stat right here, Brett. How about the right-hander is opponent's only hitting 175 off of him. You see the velocity's there, but the command is a little bit off with those 10 walks and 18 innings.
He's going to inherit a base runner in Zach Stewart with T.J. Pompey coming to the plate after a 3-run homer in the second started the scoring. Of course, Pompey in his first SEC at bat this year hit a walk-off homer in the bottom of the ninth against Mississippi State. It has been a season where it has been home run and strikeout prevalent. Now with the 11 home runs and 64 strikeouts, you talk a lot about batting average on balls in play and what that number looks like. It's one of the metrics they use a lot at the big league level. It excludes home runs and strikeouts. And Pompey skies one in the air down the line and right, and it will be out of play. So, Troy, you're really just looking at what the batting average is when you put balls in play. Now, coming into action tonight, T.J. Pompey at .417. He would be leading Major League Baseball with that .417. There's only 3 players right now in Major League Baseball over 400. He's at .417. It's just another reminder what it would be like to cut down those strikeouts.
Right, almost 65 strikeouts on the season, but again, he's starting to see the baseball better. We talked about his upper body not floating toward the pitcher and being much more quiet, and also being sunk down those legs a little bit more.
So if you cut your strikeout total in half just for mathematic purposes, and you assume that you're hitting at that clip, you're talking about an average that would be 353 instead of 263.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to highlight T.J. Pompey. Look at him, those bent knees right there. You can really see him getting down into those legs.
Look at them with some technology.
Pitch is knocked down by Falling. So again, Troy, he felt like maybe
good for you.
He
SEC
wasn't quite
Network
getting into the
Plus.
ground or into his knees, which led to more of a drift forward.
Yeah, I think so. And you think about the athletic position. No matter if you're playing basketball or football, you have to have those feet spread a little shorter, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and you just have so much better balance in that situation.
Waits on the 2-2, and he fouls another one backing out of play. That feels like a conversation hitting Coach Dolan his head with a 20-year-old daughter on the softball ranks. Getting into those knees.
Sink down into the legs a little bit more, Kate Dolan.
Use that weight transfer. Stop the drift of the slide. Rebels still looking for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pitch number 6. And we'll see another.
Yeah, Arkansas. It was only over the wall, probably
really
by
good cutters on that
3 or 4 feet.
Corner by
it was more like a line
Waters,
drive.
He is just pinpoint accuracy with that pitch.
Finished the thought though on the BABIP again at .417. So T.J. Pompey has a lot of hits when he puts the ball in play, even on those that aren't home runs. Maybe not this time. Into the shift. He'll ground one to Pano. There's one on to first. Close, but safe is Pompey.
What a way to hustle down there.
At bat. Waters
Pompey.
gets out number one, and Pompey aboard on the fielder's choice.
You almost felt like the shift kind of threw the Rebel infield off just a little bit. Decker had to get over there and cover second base. And
a little harder on that turn, I would imagine.
It was. Got a little bit odd angle, and Pompey was really busting it out of the box.
There's Carter Rutenbar. Carter's another guy who's well over 400 in BABIP at 415. I think for Carter, what that might say is there could be a little bit of regression, but regardless, Troy, his freshman campaign has really been impressive. And what I like about Rutenbar, it doesn't matter if it's non-conference games, SEC, doesn't matter if it's right-handed or left-handed pitching. There's been a level of consistency that's hard for anybody, let alone an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I think so. His command of the strike zone has just been spectacular.
Pompey to run, that throws off line. And without Hunter Elliott in the game, it's opened up this running game for Arkansas. And Pompey gets number 11, so he's
if the catcher's going to throw like that, we can run on him all day long.
Stolen bases and home runs.
That just an absolute huge jump by T.J. Pompey, and you could feel that Foley really knew he had to rush that throw, and that's why it sailed inside toward the second base side of the bag.
Maybe the Razorbacks would have a chance to get a run without a homer if Carter Rutenbar can deliver. Almost clipped him again.
See, now that one looked like it was closer than the first one.
Wonder how long it's been since a freshman has led Arkansas in batting average. You go back to 2018. Casey Martin got off to such an incredible career with the Razorbacks. The other freshman that year named Kerstad wasn't bad either to have on that team.
That's a couple good freshmen Arkansas had that season.
Pitch is up and out. We were talking to Coach Bianco about his playing days at LSU and how close they were to winning a national championship when they went through that incredible A&M team in College Station. And I think he referenced that Coach Bertman said that was the first national championship we should have won. And I said, Arkansas fans feel like there's one of those two.
I think so.
That year.
Again, just a guy that battles at the plate, and Carter Rutenbar. Yeah, Coach Bianco and I had to reminisce a little bit about. We both played at the same time.
Keep that back shoulder
at LSU and myself at Arkansas, and never faced each other. But yeah, they went and LSU went down there and beat a really, really good Texas A&M team. I think they only lost like 6 or 7 games the whole season.
Is that a Chuck Knobloch team?
It was.
What were they, 55-5 according to his recollection?
Yeah, they were absolutely ridiculous.
Of course, LSU had some pretty good pitchers that year too for Coach Bianco to handle.
Some guy named McDonald was pretty good. Ben McDonald. He's the one who beat A&M in the semifinal game.
So wave it a miss by Rutenbar. Waters wins the battle for out number 2. Springer was another one on that team.
That was a good job by Landon Waters. Really fooled Rutenbar right there at that cutter. I think if you're Mike Anu, if you just saw that at bat, you need to be sitting cutters away and trying to shoot this thing into right center field. With the wind blowing out, the Ole Miss outfielders are having to play deep, so base hit's going to easily score Pompey from second base.
News 0 for 2. New hitting well over 100 points better against right-handed pitchers. Reps one on the ground sharply again to Pano. He's got it. High throw across, but Furness gloves it to end the inning. But Troy, another inning, another Arkansas home run.
Boy, frozen rope by Cahillo Aloy, and that's what Arkansas fans want to see is big power out of Cahillo. They lead 6-0.
Nothing.
strikeouts, and that cutter has been outstanding this evening.
He's not overthinking it, is he?
He is not. He's throwing whatever Mr. Helfrich wants him to pump in there, and a lot of strikes. Reuter bounced into a double play back in the second. 5, 6, and 7 due up this inning against Dietz.
Yeah.
For the fourth straight weekend in which he has led things off for the Hawks in that rotation, trying to get a win for the Razorbacks. And I would imagine there's no shortage of scouts here tonight. They'll get to see Townsend tomorrow.
Of course,
Ryder Helfrich, maybe Gabe Gackel as well. Certainly some future pros and guys who you would imagine will be drafted highly. Ryder's one of those guys, and we'll touch on it here in a second, that has held steady in the draft projections in the year of the catcher. But Dietz is a guy that these scouts just haven't seen much over the last couple of years with his injuries. That big break and that curve missed, but Derek Malika's been giving the high strike at times tonight, the count 2-2. But certainly I think what the scouts have seen this season has been mouth-watering, to say the least. That's grounded sharply, and it's to the left of Kojal into center for a base hit. So that's the third single for the Rebels tonight. But Kylie McDaniel for ESPN has these SEC players, including Helfrich, number 11. I've seen him anywhere from like 10 to 20. We saw Peterson on this mound earlier. But there's Dietz at number 25 and Townsend, who we'll see tomorrow at number 26. Troy, you're talking about guys all potentially in the first round, according to Kylie, from this conference.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that Dietz and Howard are going to keep climbing up that ladder.
Wave it a miss by Jones.
Townsend. Yeah, they both got some great stuff. And you can see the Razorbacks got some guys that can really rise up as well, too.
Funny thing was that fall of the freshman year of Dietz, the legend started to build. And DVH, who sometimes is reluctant to heap praise on freshmen for a good reason, couldn't help himself because he said, quite frankly, his hitters didn't hit Dietz. And that was before the setback that, in essence, kind of cost him a couple of years.
Yeah, and there's some guys on that Razorback team that could really swing the bat as well.
Jones will wave and miss. That strikeout number 7 for Dietz.
Boy, there's that cutter again. He's just leaning on, and, man, the bottom just absolutely drops out of it. 85 miles an hour. And, again, that's such a tight spin rotation that it has.
All right, let's talk about that cutter. We've seen him landed at the top of the zone from a big lefty who comes over the top. We've also seen it have movement down as Decker rolls one. Is that a fair ball? It is. Glove by Rutenbar. His throw to second base is not in time. Arkansas went for a reverse double play. I thought that ball might have been just across the base, but Rutenbar gloved it, and Jeff Head was there to say fair ball.
That is an absolute great play by Carter Rutenbar, and there's not many times when you want your first baseman to be right-handed, and that is one of them when the ball is smoked down the line, because if you're a left-handed first baseman, you cannot get to that baseball.
Hard to tell there. It looked like he toppled into foul territory, but no argument.
Jeff Head definitely pointed fair. That was heads-up base running by Reuter right there. I mean, he did a good job. He did not hesitate. He was gone with contact. And
we had a Rutenbar and a Reuter over there at first base. This is Foley. To finish the thought, though, on that cutter, I need to see one more look on this first.
And you had to make sure that Rutenbar touched the right base. He goes, do I green one, white one? Okay, I'll hit the white one.
My point is, though, Troy, that cutter can land at your belt or it can land in the dirt. And it's got a sweep, and he's throwing from a high release point. It's tough to gauge just where it's going to finish.
Yeah, you're 6'6", and then he's got an over-the-top release. And
it had to be a tag because that's not a force.
It does make it really, really hard. You talk about guys that have like a lot of tilt.
And
I think that's what
just touched
big
the
league
bag.
Scouts talk about is like throwing downhill. It's almost like you're throwing off a mountain.
2-2 to Foley.
That's a great take.
It is indeed. Foley walked back in the third. He's taken this count full in the 5th inning. And that's ball 4. So only a couple of walks this evening from Dietz, but it has been Foley both times. And this has been a feast or famine Rebels offense at times, meaning there's been strikeouts, there have been home runs, but for Dietz, who hasn't made many mistakes, a couple of base runners at a potential bomb could be one way that the Rebels would climb back into this one.
Well, I think so. And again, with the left-handed hitter and the wind blowing out to right, just get that thing up in the jet stream. It's going to go.
Here's Pano. He singled back in the third.
I think if you're Dietz and Helfrich, you want to keep the fastball up in the zone, and then you do not want to miss middle in. If you're going to throw the cutter, it's going to be down and away.
Old Glory blown out towards right. As Pano takes one letter high in his jersey, 1-1. Reuter at second, Foley at first. Dietz left that one up in the zone.
Yeah, the curveball that's going to sit about 80, 79, 80 miles an hour, and that's what he struggled with a little bit. Is that thing just kind of hanging up and in toward left-handers.
And he paints the fastball in the outside corner. .71 pitches into his night. Remember, against Mizzou last Thursday through 101.
Got him.
Strike three ball. Came back with the cutter. That strikeout number 8.
Beautiful job, Dietz.
100 on the season. And Troy, he's had that pitch working this evening.
Well, he's really feeling it tonight. Like you said, 8 punch-outs. That is a big one right there. Hogs still up 6-0. And almost 60 innings pitched. And again, you see the strikeout numbers as well.
Hit the wrong spot. Yes, sir. All kinds of strikeouts tonight. Friday night strikeout night. He keeps pitching like this, he might get another couple innings in.
This week, and Brendan Brock will be here next weekend with the Sooners. Of course, Helfrich as good as any. It's quite a list to say the least, and it was Lackey and Helfrich that were on Team USA last year, and yet Jackson Troy's gone 20-20 this season. Yeah, stolen bases and home runs.
That's pretty crazy, and he's got tremendous speed. I think he runs like a 6'4". We talk about how athletic Ryder Helfrich is, and Jackson's just got a whole nother gear in that foot speed.
Really a consistent year, though, for Helfrich. I'm sure when you're that close to 300, you'd love to see a batting average at that plateau or above.
Absolutely, Ozzie.
He walked earlier, though, his 43rd of the season, so certainly a very patient hitter who's been batting either second or third in this Razorback lineup most of the season. Facing Waters.
I'll be right back, Sarge.
For the first time tonight. Big wave and a miss.
That's a really nice tight cutter right there by Waters. And again, a really good cutter is not going to have a whole lot of movement, probably 3 inches at the most. That'll sit about in upper 80s.
Pitch hung just a bit, and Helfrich sends it foul. Ryder again riding an 11-game hitting streak. Singled in a run in his last at-bat Wednesday against Northwestern State. Arkansas got its 30th win in that midweek game. They played 1 instead of 2 with a cancellation. Helfrich fouls one back. Razorbacks reached the 30-win plateau in their 46th game. That was the longest it's taken them to get to 30 wins since 2016, but that was a year they finished below 500.
Yeah, that was a 2016 year that I think many Razorback fans would just kind of like to forget. But this Razorback team, you feel like they've got the ability to beat anyone.
And that's strike 3 call.
Oh, what a great pitch.
Malika painted at the knees over the outside corner.
Again, that's that fastball right there in the outside corner. I think Ryder thought he was going to get a cutter. It was going to fade off the plate.
Sammy's name is
absolutely dotted by Waters.
YT.
Here's Kozel, hit a home run up on top of the building, down the line and right in the third at 422 feet. Kozel's 13th homer. He's up to 52 runs batted in. Began the night 6th in the conference in that category. Talk a lot about these teams trying to chase a possibility of hosting. Certainly it feels like the Rebels a little bit closer than Arkansas. This was the swing back in the 3rd inning. You talk about a ball that disappeared quickly. Up, out, and gone over the building. Off the bat of Camden Kozel. That ankle feeling a little bit better on that dance around the bases. But I said to Kozel on Wednesday, hey, do you see where Arkansas is projected to go if the season were to end today? And he knew exactly what I was talking about. He had a big smile and he said, yeah, because it was Nebraska, it was Lincoln for the Nebraska kid, and he said that would be the most fun regional ever.
Yeah, he might get booed a little bit from not staying at home and playing for the Huskers, but if you talk about a guy that would relish that, he certainly would.
Of course, last year, his storybook season finishing in Omaha and playing in the College World Series. To start a regional and the postseason run back in Nebraska might be something that would be a tremendous amount of fun for the Kozel family. And Tori, there you have it. I think Nebraska is 20-1 at home this year. So they played well. See Kent State and Indiana State. Ole Miss projected to host, but USC would be a tough team coming out of the Big Ten.
They are playing some really good baseball right now, and that's not a number 2 I'd like to have in my regional if I'm playing down there in Oxford.
There's the 1-2. It's fouled away down the line and left. I think Baseball America projects Arkansas as of now to go to Corvallis, Oregon to take on Oregon State. So I know Kozel would like to see Lincoln rather than Oregon State, but as a 2 seed, you know you're not going to another SEC school.
Right.
So that does limit the possibilities.
Well, I mean, I think the NCAA and especially Arkansas fans would like it to be a little closer than the West Coast.
Lawrence, Kansas might be another option. And this year they will seed 1 through 32, but there is a bucket system. So again, you can treat teams within the 1 through 4 bucket or the 5 through 8 bucket, and there might be a little manipulation if it led to an opportunity to keep some teams a little bit closer to home.
Well, when you're talking about ticket sales, and the NCAA likes ticket sales, they might be doing a little manipulation.
Maybe a lot of red in that crowd, though, in Lincoln. Kozel waves and misses at a letter-high pitch, back-to-back Ks. Nebraska 21,000 for a 3-game series. I think that was against USC a couple of weekends ago as Waters gets the swing out of the zone.
Yeah, you could see Foley setting that target up high, and Waters threw it exactly where he wanted it. And you could see the reaction of Foley, the catcher, going, that's where I wanted it, and that's why he got the strikeout.
He struck out 3 of the last 4 Razorbacks he's faced. And here's Ruiz, Arkansas's left fielder, who singled and bounced to second. Party-like atmosphere out there in the hog pen tonight. Ruiz will poke one out to right field. Diving
nice
try by
catch.
Becerra. Able to make the catch. Ball started to hang up. Becerra was able to lay out. And the Razorbacks go in order for the first time tonight. 5 innings complete. Arkansas maintains its 6-run advantage.
That was a good play because that was probably going to be a triple if he didn't catch it. Sam, it's Hog Wild YT.
In Big Ten action, but Troy, I mean, there's SEC teams scattered around, but Coastal still hanging there. You see Nebraska, Southern Miss, Kansas at number 7. It's a little different look.
Really is. And again, like you said, Coastal's up in there. Oregon State's always got a good ball club. Florida State's creeping back in.
There's Federico back at the top of the lineup taking strike one. I would say this year in the SEC has been bonkers. It's been really hard to project or predict. And I got a feeling the postseason might be likewise. I mean, how many times have we talked about a team, Florida? My goodness, do they look good? Next weekend they get swept. And another team that might play extremely well, like Alabama, and then, bam, they get swept.
It's been really crazy, yeah.
Topsy-turvy. Federico.
I mean, even how good Mississippi State looked, even though Arkansas won 2 of 3, and you're thinking, man, they've got a great pitching staff, and they've been solid, but you just felt like they're going to be one of the top teams in the league.
Another team that had a few bumps in the road. Federico lifts one to very shallow center. Noose comes gliding in to make the catch.
I think so, Bobby.
And there's one out.
Depending on how these next 9 games go.
So you look at 17 through 32, the Razorbacks there at 24. But again, there's some different teams. West Virginia, Boston College, Jacksonville State. Nobody cares about Cincinnati, but there's Arizona State with Landon Hairston. Oh, producer Kira apparently like
got her
Cincinnati.
Feelings hurt a little bit.
Yeah, that was loudest I've ever heard her scream. Becerra sends one out to right. Stewart with the grab. So Becerra robbed Ruiz. Stewart takes care of Becerra for out number 2.
What a great read by Zach Stewart out there. Off the bat, Becerra feels like, okay, there's my base hit knock.
Welcome to the SAR squad.
And Stewart is even
Thank
going.
you very much.
Man, I even surprised myself on that one. That a little top spin, you can see it really start diving right there. And, boy, that's just a great read by Stewart. And you can make that play when you're up 6 runs.
Yeah, I think so too, Bobby.
If it's a 1-0 game, you probably don't leave your feet right there.
That's a good point. Here's Udemark, who's 0 for 2, and he takes a strike. Is that officially a pink-colored bat?
I believe
definitely
so.
starts with
if anybody
tonight's
can
game.
swing a pink bat, that's Judd Udemark.
Nobody's going to make fun of Udemark?
No, I don't think so.
I think you're right.
He'll just give him one of those growls.
At 6'5", 250,
yeah,
he's somewhat heckle-proof. He has one of the 8 strikeouts recorded by the Rebels today, and he's going to hit one high in the air to right center field. Well struck. Stewart is back at the wall, running out of room, and that ball is gone. Udemark hits his 18th home run of the season. And it's the first Rebels run tonight. It's a 6-1 game.
We talked about the breezes blowing out to right field, and Utermark with great power. He got it up in that jet stream and just kind of carried out over that right field wall.
This was a Rebels team that midweek against Murray State and against Georgia last week, Troy, hit 14 homers in 3 games. But they haven't homered much in the last 3 plus. They're in danger of losing 4 straight, but that's the feast portion of feast or famine.
Well, that's for Hunter Dietz. You know, you're probably not going to get beaten this game with solo home runs. I think Furness hit that ball twice.
Hit it off his bat and his foot, or off his bat twice?
Off the bat twice.
That's hard to do. That's a party trick right there.
I think something the Bananas would do.
Now you're talking. Furness says one of the 4 hits for the Rebels. Wave and a miss at the cutter.
Here you go, Deets. Just come back, Deets. This guy.
You know, coming into action tonight, we were talking about the strikeouts. The Rebels
us.
had struck out 56 times in their last 4 games, and you tack on 8 more tonight, so that is 66 in 5 games. Hard to believe Furness laid off a pitch that close there. But coming into tonight, I don't think I've ever seen this. We talk about teams that favor
Richard.
right-handed pitchers or left-handers, and Arkansas had really struggled against lefties. The Rebels' batting average is identical. Lefties, righties,
Wow.
263, which means their team batting average is
263.
Well, you're paying attention.
Pretty easy math.
You are paying attention.
I'm right on it. Dietz tried to double up with that curveball, and that's when he has not commanded it, that's where it misses. Right at the head of those left-handed batters. It just kind of hangs and spins.
But he had Furness a little bit jumpy. He wasn't sure if that was going to hit him or maybe snap over the inside corner. It's down and out. The count has gone full. Came back with the fastball, but he missed a little bit. Still pumping 95. Coming into this inning, Dietz was heavy on the strikes. 54 of his 85 pitches have been strikes. As I say that, he walks his 3rd tonight.
It's a really veteran at-bat right there by Will Furness. Fell behind 0-2 and just really didn't expand the strike zone. Now, a couple of easy takes of the breaking balls up and in, but the fastball down and away was a really good take. And this is a conversation with Matt Hobbs saying, hey, you're pitching great. Let's not overthink it. Let's go out there and fill up the strike zone. Your stuff's too good not to just throw strikes.
I would agree on that conversation. I thought maybe he might be taking his temperature to see if he's tiring just a bit because he's been so dominant through 5 2/3 innings. But obviously that pitch count was even higher last Thursday in Columbia, Missouri.
See the graphic right there, Matt Hobbs, the assistant coach of the year in 2024.
Pitch to Reuter, who singled back in the 5th, is downstairs.
Dietz has 100 strikeouts on the season.
It was going to be a storyline with the pitcher leading the conference in strikeouts against a team that is prevalent to the Ks. And then the question is, could the Rebels hit a few balls out of the park to swing things back in their favor? But it's been the Razorbacks with 3 homers to account for 6 runs. Every run in this game has come on the long ball. As Reuter waves and misses. Reuter, the Mississippi native, but the BYU transfer. Behind in the count. Pitch number 90. Again, kind of slipped away from Dietz.
Yeah, that's that breaking ball again. It's just kind of popping up out of the back of Dietz's hand. He's not not getting on top of that pitch.
He will mention from time to time he'll lose a pitch for an inning, but then find it later. He's trying to find it now. And there's a chopper fouled outside of 3rd. That's tough to do in this conference against talented hitters. I think the one thing Dietz has going for him is that he can be a guy who can throw 3 pitches for strikes and not just 2.
That's right. We really haven't seen the changeup very much from Hunter Dietz.
The 2-2. Well, that's down, so now the count has gone full. Arkansas getting some activity rolling in their bullpen.
He's tired. He's
Bar's going to
overthrowing.
play behind Furnace first. Dirk Malika is saying, hey, you got to make sure the batter gets his eyes up before you get into your set position.
Dietz is saying, I'm ready to go. I want to finish off this inning. Runner goes, 3-2 pitch. Job foul, will do it again. Furnace returns to first. Pitch count up to 93. Another payoff pitch, another walk. So the 2-out home run from Utermark, and then back-to-back base on balls to Furnace and Reuter. And one big swing now from the Rebels will really make this game that much closer.
Well, Gabe Gackel was already tossing in the bullpen, and now he's starting to heat up with a little more urgency.
I think
Come on,
any
Hunter, we need
pitcher
one more
on
out of
any
you,
night
buddy.
wants to finish strong, but the way he came out of the gates with 5 scoreless and 5 2/3 scoreless, there may have been the thought he could have gone 7. Now he's trying to get through 6.
I think so, and I think this first pitch is going to be key for Hunter Dietz, and just trying to get ahead of this batter with 2 outs.
Jones has struck out twice, but again, Dietz has either been down with the fastball or up with the off-speed
ball.
pitches.
Yeah, it's really starting to lose that command, and again, like I said, Gackel is really heating up down there in the bullpen.
It's a fastball that Jones was sitting on, and he fouled it straight back.
I almost felt like if Dietz would have thrown a ball right there, that because you really don't want to bring Gackel in with bases loaded, and him having a little bit of command issues. I almost felt like they might even have gone and got Dietz right there in the middle of an at-bat.
Interesting. I see you working.
There you go.
Right down to shoot for a called strike.
Nice. Same thing here.
Now, I just completely changes that bat right here for Hunter Dietz. Now you can throw several different pitches to try to get that punch out.
But they got to be competitive pitches. Somewhere close to the strike zone.
Shaking off a couple of signs from Helfrich. 1 and 2
Got
to
him.
Jones. Strike 3 ball. Inside corner. 9 Ks in 6 innings for the left-hander Hunter Dietz.
Well, really saw Hunter Dietz bow his neck right there and just paint it fastball on that inside corner. Ryder Helfrich might have stolen a strike right there for his big left-hander. Hogs still up 6-1.
Great job, Dietz, getting out of that. You did your job. You got us through 6. The bullpen can take it from here. Absolutely. Can't blame them as long as they keep fighting. And he had to dig down to get that one. No, he's done. I think he's done, Tim. His arm is gassed. You don't want to play with fire. You bring Gackel in with a clean inning to start the inning. Nobody on. Let him try to get you through to the 8th. Depending on how he does, you let him finish the 9th.
Hunter Dietz, if that was it for him, finishes strong. And Landon Koenig, Troy, becomes pitcher number 3, used by the Rebels.
Yeah, big-bodied right-hander. See, 6'6", 245. He's got a really big arm. He's going to sit 94 to 97 with the fastball, throws a slider and a changeup as well. You can see his numbers right there. Really good command for a guy that has that much velocity. See the 27 strikeouts, only 5 walks. And I'll tell you, that's pretty impressive. Opponents are hitting 329 off the big right-hander.
And there's Gage Wood's father. He's been here a lot. Hard to leave Baum-Walker Stadium even when your kids are done.
He's got himself a good front row seat there.
I'd say a few more degrees would be nice, maybe by Sunday. Koenig ready to work to Souza. You got North Dakota going up against Hawaii in the SEC here in Arkansas. You been to Page, North Dakota, Troy?
I have not been to the state of North Dakota.
Probably can't see it in a day. Of course I've been to North Dakota.
Okay.
Haven't been to Page, but Koenig was at North Dakota State last year. Weren't they here in the regional?
I think they were.
Souza sucks one to center. Back goes
Get out,
Federico,
baby. Get
turning
out.
and running, and
There
that
you
ball's
go.
going to short off the
There's a
fence and
double.
kick away. Souza might have 3.
Let's
He'll
go,
turn
Souza.
second. On
Let's
his
go.
way for a triple in with
That's
the
what I'm talking
dive.
about.
What a way to start the bottom of the 6th for the Razorbacks. Triples are a lost art today in college baseball. Arkansas gets its 5th of the season.
Boy, Nola can really run, and when you saw that ball kind of
Jets kick
ricochet
in,
off
son.
the wall over Federico's head, and I think Souza saw that play in front of him, and he put that head down. Again, he is hard out of the box. And again, right here when the ball ricochets over Federico's head, I think that's when Souza thought, I've got a shot at this one.
Here's Aloy, who singled and homered. And don't look now, his batting average, Troy, is up over 300 at 301.
Boy, you talk about a guy that has some serious focus. Look at Kahil Aloy's eyes right now. He is absolutely locked in.
We still have a North Dakota-Hawaii matchup going.
Sometimes you can just kind of read hitters' body language, and it just seems like Kahil Aloy has the body language of, I know I'm going to hit the ball hard right now.
He swung late, fouled one off.
The Rebels are going to concede a run for an out right here. The infield all the way around is playing deep. So if you're Kahil Aloy, if you can just avoid a strikeout or pop-up, you're going to get an RBI.
Arkansas trying to get that run back from the Utermark homer in the top of this inning. Again, he swung awfully late, but able to spray it down the line and right. That's a guy who's comfortable letting that ball get fairly deep.
You don't have a whole lot of time when that pitch was 96 miles an hour off in TrackMan up here in the booth.
Ready for this one, Troy? Koenig threw 3 innings of one-hit scoreless baseball against Arkansas in that regional last year. Ground ball to Furness. This will get the run home. Aloy with an RBI as Souza comes across to make it a 7-1 game.
Way to do it right there. Hit it to the opposite right side of the infield.
That was a great pick by Will Furness over there at first base. And he kind of had a thought about, should I try to come home? That ball was an absolute rocket to me, but decided to go get the out at first base. But that's pretty interesting. Koenig feeling comfortable here at Baum-Walker Stadium.
Yeah, certainly no stranger. Arkansas won that game 6-2. Jimenez started for the Razorbacks. Coyle and Beidelshees pitched. Koenig 3 innings, 1 walk, 1 hit, no runs, 3 Ks. And here's Zach Stewart taking a strike.
I tell you what, with the transfer portal, fans and announcers like ourselves, you find out really quickly that there are dudes on every team. There's guys that can play at any level, and the key for these coaches is just trying to be able to go out there and just kind of cherry pick out of those, mid-majors and see if you can get some talent.
And do it like a speed dating situation when
Yeah, you got about 45 seconds to figure out if you like the player or not.
Stewart has walked twice. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. Yeah, you don't court them like you do those high school kids where you get to know them when they're 16 and 17.
Right.
It's speed dating when these players go in the portal. I got to believe for Koenig, though, you finish here with a regional and you get to be on the big stage at Baum Walker and you're not sure if you're going to be back. Well, you are back. You're in the SEC and pitching at Baum Walker Stadium again.
Go back to the speed dating. It's like, I like you. Do you like me? Okay, let's go.
Let's have lunch.
Have
Sign
your
on the
people
dotted line.
call my people.
Commit.
That one gets Stewart. Indeed it did. He's not afraid to stand in there and wear one. He helps his grandfather farm in Missouri, and his grandfather will tease him that he has show muscles and grandfather has the work muscles. But either way, those are muscles, and he's not afraid just to take his beating.
If you're going to get hit, how about off the skip, off the ground?
6th time this year he's been hit by a pitch.
Sometimes it's just anything you can do to get on base.
Quick conversation before TJ Pompey bats.
My two big stats are, Brett, are you driving in runs so you get RBIs, and are you scoring runs? So if you just can get on base by walks like Ryder Helfrich has done this season and Dom Decker, or are you getting hit by pitches? It doesn't really matter.
Well, this game started scoring-wise, Troy, in the second when TJ Pompey got one up and out against Elliott that put 3 on the board in a blink of an eye.
Boy, that ball was just a rope out to left center field. We talked about how TJ Pompey's just kind of slowed everything down at the plate, and I think you see that. I told him, I said, watch his batting practice today. I said, that was a big league batting practice. You know, he wasn't trying to overswing, just shooting balls to the gaps.
Grounds one to the left side, cut off by Pano, but the flip dribbled over towards Furtis. And Troy, we've talked about this shift in ground balls and maybe a little different turn of some possibilities of double plays or forces, and I think that time it burned Pano.
Yeah, Pano was trying to figure out
GX,
where
that's
Dom
awesome,
Decker
man.
was going to end
Tell
up.
Sarr
And try to
says
throw it kinda
congratulations.
at where he thought the base was going to be, and boy, that thing just kind of sailed on the inside, and Decker just had no chance to get to that baseball.
Still only 1 out this inning. Arkansas got that run back that the Rebs scored on the top of the frame. Rutenbar is 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks and an HBP. There's a look back to second, no throw. So Pompey has reached on a pair of fielders' choices after that 3-run homer. Arkansas has more runs than hits. That's what happens when you hit 3 home runs.
Boy, the Rebels, if you feel like if you could get a ground ball double play right here, you're down 6 runs, but the ball is flying out here at Baum Walker tonight, and you've got a team that has hit almost 80. You feel like you're still in this ball game, but it's got the kind of on the teetering on the verge of getting away from you.
They were down 8-0 last week against Georgia before coming back to win. So you're in danger of getting run ruled when it's 8-0 late, and scored 10 unanswered, all on the homers, and every run tonight had been on a homer until that ground out by Aloy scored Souza, who had tripled. Two strikes on Rutenbar. And that's a wave and a miss. It's not often you see Carter expand the zone and strike out, and it's not a normal night when he goes down on strikes 3 different times.
Yeah, that's a change-up away, and that's got Carter a couple different times tonight, is that change-up with 2 strikes, and that's so far this season you really haven't seen that by the freshman, and you can see him really trying to slow down that bat as he brought that one through the zone. Great pitch by Koenig.
Mike Anu is 0 for 3, a couple of ground outs to short. Micah's father is here from Australia. He was here a couple of weeks ago, but he made it back today, and of course next weekend will be the time we honor these seniors. There's Dad. Does it look like he's come all the way from Australia, Troy?
Maybe a little bit. Looks a little tired.
He's the rugby player in that family, along with the sister, who was outstanding. The sister's husband, of course, a rugby player, but I would say he knows the route from Australia to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
It's not a short one either.
No, it is not. And you know, Mike,
too bad we didn't have him in a Razorback with live with the Sarge gear.
Also
Yeah.
on hand. Micah clubs one a mile foul. From Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, at least that's where he grew up. That's where Mom was from. His name Micah Tui Nu, which means king. Micah Joseph Tui Nu, his grandfather's name. Dad, Australian and Fijian. There's a lot of follow-up questions involved when you hear that.
It really is.
Ground ball up the middle.
There you
That's
go.
a base
That's
hit.
going to be a run.
Here comes Stewart around third. He will score. Pompey to third. Arkansas's made it 8-1. And Dad can stand and applaud because his son just knocked in another run. And a high five from the parents behind him.
Really good swing by Mike and New with 2 strikes. Had great plate coverage on that pitch on the outer third.
Dad pretty stoic, but right now he's getting excited.
It's like, do I stand? Do I stand? No, I don't want to. Just some clapping.
From a family of rugby players, Micah decided to go the baseball route. Rugby came too easy. He wanted the challenge of baseball. Well, the SEC is the ultimate challenge when it comes to baseball, and maybe not as big of numbers from a year ago at Marshall, but Micah will take that base hit. Arkansas has played it a couple this inning. And by the way, here's Helfrich. Remember I told you that Koenig pitched 3 scoreless innings against Arkansas in the regional? He gave up only 1 hit. That hit was to Ryder Helfrich.
Ryder Helfrich. Well, Ryder Helfrich's seeing a lot of pitches on that outer third, so if I'm him, I'm sitting on a cutter away and try to shoot something to right center field right here.
Ryder's 0 for 2. He's walked and scored. Off and rolling goes New. The throw down is not in time. New with the bag. That's his 13th of the season.
A good pitch for Foley to throw on a fastball, and Helfrich takes that one. New just too much speed and just a great slide. You love when those guys that steal bases just kind of explode into the bag.
Ned was non-bothered by that stolen base. Micah's mom went to Australia to play rugby, where she met his dad, and rugby is the family business, to say the least. Again, a sister, one of the best rugby players in the country, but went back to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Sean Abner, former big leaguer from Mechanicsburg. Brett Michaels of Poison. You were probably a big Poison fan, Troy.
Oh, yeah, back in the day.
I could see you jam into your Walkman with the cassette tape and your little headphones.
Yes, this is game 1. Bill.
2-1 to Ryder Helfrich.
Painting a crazy picture right there.
Couple of runs home for the Razorbacks. Arkansas looking to maybe put this one further away if Ryder can deliver. Is that a swing? I don't think so. Jeff Head agrees. 3-1. Well, if you're Helfrich, do you sit on a fastball or something that you can tattoo?
Whatever you're sitting on, you're going to get it on the outer third, so they're not going to throw anything inside. I'm cutting loose on this one.
Agreed. 3-1. Drill to right.
There
Hit
it
well,
is.
back
There
to the
it
wall,
is.
climbing at the fence.
Boom.
Goodbye.
Oh, my God. I was
Flying
muted the whole
as Ryder
time.
Helfrich shoots a 3-run homer to right. The 4th Razorback homer this evening. And that's number 15 for one of the best catchers in college baseball, Ryder Helfrich. Troy, he gave himself a pitch, and that's the ability to shoot one out to right.
Yeah, he really worked on that in batting practice today, and he made an adjustment. Everything he saw was away, and that's up and away, right about belt high. Helfrich does not miss it, and it's going to come right at us.
So he got the
what a
single
camera
against
angle.
Koenig last year. He hits the homer to right, through
Beautiful.
the sunset,
Beautiful.
And the fireworks flying. That might be my favorite shot of the year.
That was perfect. Great job by our camera crew.
And our wireless camera following him right on into the dugout from the celebration after he touched home plate. Who said this Razorback team can't homer? That's 4 tonight. It's 11-1 Razorbacks. We'll step aside. It's all Arkansas in game 1 of this series with the Rebels.
Yeesh.
Don't pause. Keep hitting that wrong button there. Let's show some love real quick to our Build Right Building sponsor of the live stream today. If you're in the market for a new building, steel building, you can check out our Build Right Buildings at 20321 East Highway 412, Suite 212 in Springdale. Call 479-544-0167 and let them know the Sarge sent you. They're always guided by faith, built with integrity, and driven by excellence. Build Right Buildings. We appreciate them being a sponsor of the live streams.
I'm in my 30s, Sam.
I am 50, Sam. I'm an old.
Don't let him lie to you. He's 38.
Well, I wish I was 38. I promise you, I wish I was 38. Gotta wait till the 7th, end of the 7th, Kurt. Just to make sure it's official.
The state of Texas, a little bit cool here, but that sunset
Beautiful
is
sunset.
absolutely picturesque. And we're in run rule
You were
territory
only
as
calling for
well
what?
now.
One more homer when I asked you
Arkansas
that?
with a
Yep.
10-run
You were
lead in
saying,
the bottom
we're
of
only
the
going to get one.
6th. SEC this week, 10 teams in the top 25.
I had a feeling we were
Alabama
going
got a
to
walk-off
go
homer
crazy.
last night to take down Vanderbilt. And Troy Daniel Jackson, who had a 3-homer game here a couple of weeks ago,
Bobby
got
said
his 20th
29 and
stolen base
holding.
last weekend against
I
Ole
hear you,
Miss. The
brother.
first SEC player to go 20-20 since Andrew Benintendi in 2015. That had been a while.
Well, and Benintendi's an outfielder. Jackson is a catcher that can
right.
run like an outfielder. Yeah, it's pretty scary. He is just a super
Yeah, they're a great
athletic
company,
kid.
Eagles, for sure. I know
That's
one
gonna
of
bring
the
in
owners,
Terry
personal friend
Hayes.
of mine, and
The new pitcher for the Rebels.
great company,
Another
great people.
big-bodied right-hander. He's going to sit in the low to mid-90s with that fastball, a curveball, and a slider cutter as well.
Here's Kojal. Hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd. He's going to sky one out there in the Gloman towards Federico in center. He's going to make the catch. That will end the inning. Arkansas puts 5 more on the board. Rebels are going to have to score when we go to.
I was just like, I'm ready to get out of here. Come on
Yeah.
now.
He's like, let's just get this one over with. I'm going to go fishing. There's a bunch of pros fishing Beaver Lake this weekend.
The Hog Father says, dang, I feel old. Hey, 52 is the new 36.
Well, somebody needs to tell my body that. Somebody, Tom, we appreciate you being here, man. Being a subscriber and being a part of the channel. So what we do it for? 1:45 Pacer. We will be live at 1:45. Game starts at 2.
I might still be in Little Rock.
Both games
Hopefully
start
it
at
doesn't.
2 o'clock this weekend. So we'll be at 1:45 Saturday and 1:45 Sunday. Big Phil says I'm 48, Sarge. All right. You know what? Then you know how I'm feeling.
Is Beat still in?
No. I mean, he was, but it's probably going to be.
The cutter was really good. The curveball, he had it early on. He kind of
now.
lost it, but again, his stuff's so good, he really didn't need it.
Yeah,
and only the blemish was the Judd Utermark home run, and then Arkansas got on a roll.
Yes, Major League Pitching is on Beaver.
Right there by Aloy.
pitching.
Helfrich shot one to the opposite field. Kozel got in on the action as well, and I tell you what, the Arkansas fans wanted to see some offense. They've seen it tonight.
Well, not only 4 players with a
Need
homer.
to send
that's
Joe
2
G
with
up there.
3-run homers.
Say he's pretty
Pompey and
good
Helfrich.
fishing beaver, isn't he?
Kozel had the 2-run shot.
No.
And Aloy had a 115-mile-an-hour screamer
Ain't
for
nobody
a solo bomb
I can't stand that.
against a team that has so much power. And, of course, Utermark's homer
Oh.
in the 6th, the lone blemish
Diggler.
against Dietz, and the only run for the Rebels. And now Cooper Dawson comes on the pitch, and if he can keep the Rebels from scoring, this game would be over.
We had a couple pitchers.
No, that's
game.
the guy
One
from
was
Eastbound and
Hunter
Down
Elliott
right there.
that
You
missed
see
2
it?
seasons
Kind of
with
see
injury.
it?
How about Cooper Dawson doing the same
Yeah.
thing?
Hair's not long
Yeah.
enough.
A little bit
The
longer
work
hair
ethic
than
of
he
those
would be
two
for
pitchers
sure.
to be able to battle back after, the injuries. It's put you
I
out
forgot
for
what
2
the guy's
different
name
seasons.
is.
Dawson's going to be electric with the fastball. It's been up to 98 this season. Mix in
Yeah, that's what I say,
cutter.
Miss
Command has
Veronica.
really kind of eluded him a little bit with those 9 walks.
The
in 11
16 years in the
2/3
service was
7, 8, and 9 due up for the Rebels. Decker to lead off. He's 0 for 2.
did tear on my body. You guys leaving? Oh.
That's good you have to deal with B-hole all the time, Amanda.
And the first pitch is up and out, so 4 Razorback home runs. Pompey got it started, and we were talking about Daniel Jackson going 20-20 in the SEC.
I got
Pompey's
my
in double
grandbaby
figures
in my
both
arms
home
right
runs
now,
and stolen
everybody.
bases, so
He's watching the Hogs.
he's put up numbers despite the fact it hasn't been a straight line season. In there for a strike.
Slowed that arm speed down with the cutter on that second pitch. The fastball has kind
Kenny
of been
Powers,
sailing on
yep,
Cooper
Eagles knows
Dawson. So that's why Helfrich called that slider cutter.
Pitch a little bit up and in. Arkansas new first baseman. Reese Robinette out tonight, maybe this weekend, but there's Peck at first.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Alexander Peck, the
My
freshman.
grandbaby's wearing a baseball onesie right now. He knows
Didn't he
what time
truck
it is.
Pompey on a pop-up earlier this year, racing across the diamond?
Yeah, I think he did.
He
Yeah.
ran right into him.
Had a little more size and length over at first base.
He's going to witness his first Hogs run rule.
Three-one to Decker. Fouled at the plate.
If they run rule, does it still count as a save for Dawson?
No, because they're over. He's way more than 3
I don't
runs.
think we even said it, but the Razorbacks got the
Gotcha. It just counts as a win.
appreciation hats on tonight.
Got a flyover
hold
coming tomorrow.
is
The
what they would
helicopters
call the
practiced
hold.
about 12 times today flying over Baum Walker, and I don't think I'm exaggerating.
No, I think 12
would
is an
get the win.
understatement. They could have had 15.
We were under attack during BP. That's
Oh.
poked hard to Kozel. He's able
They
to
got
play the
Peck at
bobble
first.
and still get it out at first base. Tell you what, he didn't speed up when he didn't field it cleanly on the first try and retires Decker. Again, he said it's just as simple as fielding the ground ball and throwing it. This time he fielded it twice.
Looked like a little bit of pinball action going right there. That ball's absolutely smoked 95 miles off the bat. And you're right, I think that Kozel
I
did
gotta
a
go
great job
tomorrow.
of not speeding up.
Put a new windshield in the car.
There's Austin Foley.
Early
walked a
in the
couple of times
morning.
against Dietz. 2 of the 3 free passes that Hunter issued tonight in an otherwise really strong 6 innings.
That's what this channel is about, Sam. We interact with the chat while the game's going on.
Crazy thing is, Sam, is I have
Dietz.
ADHD.
That one's tagged to
Oh.
left.
Oh,
That
Hit
might
a
be
gun,
gone.
back to the fence, and that's gone. And this game has been removed from run rule territory for the time being as Foley hits his 7th. And the fans
That's
on the
a
hog
big
pen
boy.
throw that thing right back onto the field of play.
Well, an absolute moonshot by Austin Foley, 107 off the bat. How about 433 feet?
Boy, it looked like a left tackle.
The second that ball left the bat, that was an absolute bomb.
Yeah, this thing gets out in a hurry.
Yeah, hanging cutter right there by Cooper Dossett, and Foley does not miss it.
So when it's 11-2 game. This is Pena.
They can still get it in the bottom of the 7th, though.
You know, Foley, Troy, was a guy that last year was a big part of the power, and this year hadn't gone quite the way he would like it. Homered in both games of that doubleheader last weekend and homers tonight. But a year ago, he had 21 home runs.
Wow.
He's hitting below 200 on the year, so who knows what this might look like down the stretch for Foley, because it's there. It's in there.
Ooh.
53 runs batted in a season ago as well.
Well, this is already a Rebel team.
That chicken nugget was spicy.
You can add him to that equation.
Strike 3 to Pena for out number 2.
Well, wow, that looked a
Really good cutter up and in.
little bit inside.
No, that was an overhand curve.
I got to figure how I'm going to work this mouse because I got my grandbaby in the wrong arm. We're going to have to switch you around, buddy.
2 gone for Federico.
Right hand. I know.
So for 3.
There you go.
Hit into a double play back in the 3rd. One of a couple of twin killings turned behind Dietz. This Rebels team lost 4 starters last year. Luke Hill hit .336. Mitchell Sanford had 17 home runs. Isaac Humphrey had 13 homers. And Ryan Moorman had 11 home runs. That's what they lost. And, of course, the power has been there in a big-time way with a couple of bombs tonight. They're up to 80 on the season. That one stroked out to left for a base hit. So Federico,
I think so, too, Bobby.
Gets his first. It was a team a year ago, Troy, that hit 124 home runs, which was a program record. That's a ton.
Yeah, it really is. And again, they can score runs in big chunks. They're going to pinch run right
Kurt,
here.
Appreciate that, Kurt.
I think the dangerous part about run rules, and it's something that's been much more prevalent in recent years, is the fact you kind of get to a point where you think the game's almost over, and then it's not. And then that restarting of the engines becomes a little bit problematic, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And even the crowd kind of felt like this game was over.
Brett Mosley running at first, and Becerra fouled one off his leg.
Yeah.
I'll
He's
say
right
this,
here,
Sarge.
Miss Vicky, he's right here by the microphone.
I will say this, Sarge. We're
Next
getting
home
a whole
run
lot
for
better
Becerra
at the
will be a
right
big round
time.
number at 20.
Yeah.
Peck at first base playing behind the runner with the 9-run lead.
Dossett misses upstairs.
And that's where Dossett's been hurt. He is missing up in the zone and giving opponents the ability to drive that baseball.
Helfrich has a kick away. The pinch runner Mosley did not try to advance.
Nobody throwing in the Arkansas bullpen. Gackle was up earlier, and they sat him down and got Dossett up. And
Yeah, you
hot.
screwed my scorebook
I
up
know.
something fierce. Another pitch that was up in the zone, but swung through by Becerra.
Becerra's trying to get that number 20, isn't he?
He doesn't get cheated. Mike Bianco said about Becerra earlier this year, you watch him, he carries himself like a hitter. Great approach, very strong,
true,
handles
Kurt.
all pitches. And obviously he's done his fair share of damage. The 2-2. Another big-time swing and another foul ball. Part of an 0-for-3 night to this point, but trying to change that. One thing Coach Bianco said, that normally guys that are this big and strong, there's more holes in their swing. Maybe not the case for Becerra, but Dossett trying to finish him off nonetheless. Snapped off a good one, but again, Ryder having a hard time trying to knock it down. No advancement from Mosley.
Now with the count full, Mosley's going to get a head start, but yeah, Bessetta's had a really good quality at bat right here. Doesn't seem like he gets too big with his swing. Still remains compact, even with 2 strikes.
Big deep breath from Dossett. Here's the payoff pitch. Is that a swing? I think it is. Bessetta did not pitch. Malika rings him up. And a K to win the inning. Foley's homer, though, means the Razorbacks need to score a run in the bottom of the 7th to end this contest.
They made the grandbaby smile. Did you like that strikeout? Mm-hmm.
Kind of ad did you have, Sarge?
Sky Rizzy.
I had an insanely expensive steel battery-powered mower.
Mm-hmm. Little stinkers out like a light.
Spanning the strike zone. Not a lot of strikeouts. And again, when the ball's flying out of the park, you don't have to have a lot of hits.
Nope, you're right. Cool night at Baum Walker, but
what we got to do is hit one home run.
The Razorbacks can end it here with a run. Ruiz, Souza, and Aloy. Ruiz has been the primary left fielder all season for Arkansas, replacing Charles Davalon, who, by the way, had 2 homers last night for the Great Lakes Loons.
He's a guy that could really hit.
Great year, first-round pick. Drafted by the Dodgers. He's a Loon now. You're a little bit of a Loon, Troy, but he's really a Loon. And
he's literally a Loon.
But I tell you what, he's probably the only guy that could go to Michigan in April and think the weather's fine.
Oh, I know.
Montreal, Canada. 2-0 pitch to Ruiz. Skied in the air to right. Bessetta drifting back, but he'll make the catch for out number 1. I looked up the numbers of a few pro hogs, and I saw Brent Iredale's numbers in low A with the Pirates today.
He's kind of scuffling just a bit.
1 for 36.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's not a bit of fun. I mean, not one iota of fun in pro ball when you're 1 for 36. I might be sitting over in the dugout talking to myself in the corner. Here's Souza. He tripled and scored last inning. Funny thing is, you know, we were talking about that doubleheader the Rebels played last Saturday. There were 837 pitches in the 2 games. Tristan Bessetta went 0 for 8 in the 14-inning game and 0 for 13 for the day. That's not any fun.
No, that'll make you scratch your head a little bit.
Souza dribbles one up the middle. Decker there. He's going to have to hurry this throw, and he did not get Souza. Nolan beat it out. His second hit of the game. That ball was hit so softly, and Decker had to move to his right. You thought Nolan might have a chance to beat it, and he did.
Really love how Nolan Souza broke out of the box. He kind of gets jammed right here, but boy, he smells a hit, and he puts that head down and never breaks stride. I love how he hit the front part of that base. That's how they teach him. You don't want to hit the middle or the back side of that first base. Hit the front part.
Kuhiualoy has knocked in a couple of runs tonight, 2 more hits. His batting average briefly was above 300. Now it's at 299, but the one time he was retired was last inning, and he drove in a run with a ground out against Koenig. Now he's getting Hayes Jr. That might have been a pitch to hit, and he takes it for strike 1. Aloy's homer was the first since March the 29th, which was a bomb against the Florida Gators. Here, a bomb Walker. If he gets on a tear, and DVH has talked about the need for this team to elevate, then that can only bode well for that type of finish that he's looking for.
Well, he's a guy that had 70 RBIs a season ago, and you know the power is there. Again, and power to all fields, too. I mean, he can hit it out of any park in the country.
Stroke down the line in right. Becerra on the move into a dive, and he won't get there. This is going to go to the fence. Souza's going to sprint around third. He's going to be waved in. He will score. The Razorbacks run rule.
There we go.
The
Run rule,
to
baby.
take game 1.
There you go, baby.
Kuhiualoy with 3 runs batted in, including the walk-off.
How about
And
Aloy,
Arkansas
man?
takes it 12-2, and that's the biggest smile we've seen from Kuhiualoy in quite some time.
Boy, tremendous play coverage by Kuhiualoy. That pitch wasn't even a strike. It was off the plate, and that's a big win for Arkansas. This is a really good Ole Miss team, a veteran team that came in. Hunter Elliott just didn't quite have the stuff tonight, but again, Arkansas really showed some offense and offensive power.
You thought, Troy, once this ball got in the corner, unless Becerra could really play the carom well and fire it back in, Souza would have a great chance to score from first.
Well, Souza can really run, and you can see as soon as this ball is hit, he gets a great jump right there, and then he's just making sure that ball is going to get down. And then the relay just kind of got away from that guy that was cutting that baseball off, and no really even a throw at home plate against Nolan Souza.
A 3-for-4 night with 3.
All right, everybody. What a night. Arkansas defeats Mississippi or Ole Miss 12-2 in a run rule. Couldn't ask for a better night than that. And good to see
Everybody was hitting good.
Yeah, it's good to see Kuhio coming alive now at the right time. It'd be huge for us if he keeps going like this. This lineup stays hot. We're gonna be a problem the rest of the year and throughout the tournament. So we will be back tomorrow at 1:45. Again, if you haven't followed us on X or on Twitch, they're right here on the bottom of the screen. We'd love to have you follow us over there. And Kurt sent his 5. It's true to his word. He sent 5 memberships out. So make sure if you just received a membership that you give Kurt a big thank you. Jacob, Filthy Tom, Alex, Jay Robertson, and GX5D. We appreciate that, Kurt. You're a good soldier.
Agree with that, Pacer.
But I'm going to cut her short tonight because I got this little man in my arms and he's just laughing and smiling, so I can't get enough of that. And we're going to take it while he's happy. But you going to say something to him? You going to say something to him? You want to tell him bye-bye? Say woo pig. He's like, no, I'm asleep, Papa. You got it, Big Phil. All right, well, from me, Sarge, from Hog Wild, we appreciate y'all, and we will see you in the next one. Woo Pig. Charlie Mike, everyone.
Way off in the distance.